I know you have the ability to find a better one because these companies need a man like you. There's no man that can talk it like you, that can walk it like you. They are the better company because they chose you. Cause you so talented. You know what that man go and do? He go get himself together. He like, my woman believe in me. I gotta go out. I gotta make her proud. I ain't talking about the losers.
Yes,
I'm talking
ma'am.
about the
Yes,
real.
Lord.
You know what that man go and do?
Sorry.
I said, yes, ma'am. Yes, Lord. That's what we want to hear. So do it gonna make us jump a mountain. Oh, my bad, Cole. Go ahead. I didn't mean to
No, no,
cut
no,
you off.
no,
Go ahead.
no,
Go ahead.
no,
You
no.
cook
I'm
me.
I, I'm glad you co-signing because I'm saying I've heard men say, man, you don't understand when my wife told me X, Y, and Z. I came home feeling like a failure. I drove around for hours because I didn't want to go home and tell her I had a bad day. But when I came in and she said, hey, baby, I missed you. How was your day? And she started kissing on him and gave him a good meal and then gave him some sex. He was like, oh, man, I got to go back out and I got to do better by this woman. That you don't understand, women, the power of your tongue, the power of your positive presence in his life. Instead of taking a boot to his neck, saying, you still trying to start your own business? I told you you should do something, and that
Instead of
you
nagging this,
taking
instead of
that
nagging this
stance
out of them.
says, dang, maybe she right. Maybe I should just sit on this couch and play these games because, dang, my own woman don't believe in me. Oh, well, why should I get up and try? But if she says, look, why are you still playing this game? What's wrong with you? You are smart. Get off this couch and do what I know you got in you, bruh. You got it, baby. Do it. Show me. Show me. Get in his face. Show me. Show me you can do it. Show me, baby. And then give him some. If he don't
I
get
I
off his
I,
tail,
I
that
promise you,
you need to do
you
something
need
else.
drop.
But that's the
If
man.
he don't get off his tail after that, you're gonna have to drop that something. Hey,
For real.
cause let me tell you, Nicole did. Hey, that's a scary sight. That's a scary. If he don't get off his ass after you motivate, because see, women are really better motivational speakers than men because they carry something that make every man get a little, a little extra motivated. You dig what I'm saying? I'm trying to tell
Not
you.
the sound effects.
Hey, look, that thing there is spark action. You dig what I'm saying? But again, this is the problem. And for the record, if you all would click the link at the top of the screen, we're streaming live on YouTube right now. We're streaming live. God made gender roles. You can't teach what's natural. You can't teach it. It's a natural thing. And I think that what I want to, and y'all please keep sharing the room. We're almost to 30 shares. Got 130 people in the room now. Let's redominate the hallways like normal. I'm here to tell you, people. I don't know. I'm here to tell you. Listen, I want to really do a deep dive in this. A real deal deep dive. There's Cameron in there. Thank you, Cam. Always good to see you in the chat as well. But the thing of it is that what I don't understand is that we in human society, we've never really had a true analysis of the black community. And the black community has always been used to do things. We've always been used, in other words, as the poster child for everybody else's foolishness. Yeah, I said it. The LGBTQIA community enlists the soldiers of black women. They've turned them into their soldiers. The feminist movement was the beginning of the end. The feminist movement was the beginning of the end. I say it, I say it, I say it again. I stand on it. The fact of the matter is, people, that you don't, again, the problem that I'm facing, the problem that I'm witnessing, what I'm seeing in the world today, right? What I'm seeing in the world today is the sissification of the man and the over masculinization of our women. A nation can rise no higher than its top 10%. Because it is the top 10% of any nation that is guiding it. It goes to something Nicole, a woman, taught me, a man, to read, The Talented 10th. W.B. Du Bois. Some of you say Dubois. Nicole, what tell us about The Talented 10th and kind of what W.B. Du Bois meant when he went down that line, when he got into that ism. What did he, from your from a woman's perspective, what was your take on that as it equates to the gender roles and whatnot, and how, I mean, there's so many ways down that avenue, but women, I think of especially today, women look for men in the top 10%. In this man's opinion, they look for the top 10%. How do you get there? You get there through having a role. You get there through having ambition. You get there through having any plethora of things. I mean, it's so much. It's so many. There's so many ways, right? Thank you, Master Kaplan. I appreciate it. I really appreciate that share, brother. I really do. It says, with all honesty, this room is the room where the truth is said without adulteration. Because somebody has to say it. Somebody got to be willing. Somebody in this world must have sense enough to speak truth to lies. Somebody, and see, Farrakhan gave I don't even care for Farrakhan as much, but he gave a speech. It was a Savior's Day speech. And in that speech, he said it like this. He said, truth and lie used to be friends. Truth accepted lie for who he was. They went out one day, they went out for a swim. And Truth took the shirt and the towel and the robe off and laid it on the bench, and Lie did the same thing. They began to play chicken. They were swimming out to sea. At about 50 meters into the ocean, Truth looked back and saw Lie swim back to shore, running to grab Truth's clothes. And ever since then, the naked Truth has been trying its hardest and its best to catch up to a well-dressed Lie ever since. And I say to you today, we're living in a society full of well-dressed lies. It is a lie that a trans woman and a woman are the same thing. That is not the truth. It is a lie that there are more than two genders. It is a lie that the biology that we use to determine male and female is based on some white colonialist BS. It is not. Biology is race neutral. Facts are race neutral. While you may disagree with facts, you can disagree. Everyone is entitled to their own opinion, to quote Daniel Moynihan, but I'm sorry to tell you, you are not, sir or ma'am, entitled to your own facts. And then for the intersex argument, let me address the intersex argument because this all ties into the conversation. It all ties into the conversation. There has been zero evidence to show that there are 72 genders. And then when you look at intersex, you say that 1.7% of the people in the United States, at a population of 396 million, only 5.25 million, I think it's 1.7%. Actually, let me do the math. Let me do the mathematics right now. If we look at, well, hell, let's just Google it. Let's Google it. What percent of the U.S. population is intersex? Actually, let's try the global population. What percent of the world? Okay. According to experts, 1.7% of the world's population is born with intersex traits, comparable to the amount of people that are born with red hair. Okay? 1.7%, which means that if you do the mathematics on this, right? Because again, I try to be fair, I try to be unbiased. Okay, so 1.7%. How many people are in the world today? How many people, and somebody's being born right now, so the number's obviously going to be wrong. How many people are in the world today? 7.753 billion. So what is 1%? 1.7%. What is that? That number, 1.7% of 7.8 billion. 1.7%, 7.8 billion. Let's look at what that number is. That's a huge damn number. One looks like 132.6 million. That's great. That's still 7.8 billion, meaning over 95%. Over 95% of people are not born intersex, which means that by comparison, it's an anomaly, which means that by comparison, this argument that you're using to try to justify being intersex is bullshit. It's bullshit. The same amount of people that are born intersex, the same amount of people born with red hair, it doesn't occur commonly. It doesn't occur commonly. Globally, 7.9 billion people in the world, 7.8 billion people. A couple 100 million of them are born abnormally. Whoop-de-doo. Again, abnormal does not mean there's anything wrong with it. Got to preface that. But I'm sorry to tell you, there are, in fact, gender roles. And yeah, genders are like rare Pokemon, Jeremy, 100%. 100%.
And they're whiter than me.
Hello. Come on now. At Kieri, your comment, you are sick. But I'm just saying. Men lie, women lie, the numbers don't. 1.7%.
It is true, Kieri.
1.7% of a population of 7.9 billion, and you want to use that. See, we love using numbers when we think that they can justify it. When we think that being small is good. No. One of the chief reasons black people can't advance in society right now is because the numbers are too damn small. Jeremy, of course, no offense to you. The reason we can't beat white people is because we're killing more of our own kids. The number one murderers in the United States happen to be black women in abortion clinics. Number one. Statistic based. And women have unilateral authority. Good morning, Benzino. Good morning, brother. Please come up on the stage. Unilateral authority, Benzino, is given to the women in it's given to the women in childbirth. It's given there, right? It's given to the women and the kids. And I'm streaming this morning. Benzino, happy to have you on the platform. Let me ask you, Benzino. Let me give it to you. In your opinion,
good morning.
Good morning. What do you think of this title and this topic?
You got to explain it a little more, Dr. Julio.
Of course. So what I mean by that is this, right? The what I established earlier this morning, I think it was Nicole. Somebody said it before me. I just phrased the statement a little bit differently. Gender roles, right? Like the woman being, for example, just typically. Oh, these numbers about to blow up, I'm sure. Typically speaking, Benzino, when you look at marriage, again, I'm being very general. Obviously, every couple has it differently, right? But being general here for this, women typically do the cooking, the cleaning, the washing of the clothes. That's a typically accepted gender role, right? Typically that women have.
Mm-hmm.
You dig what I'm saying? Men's gender role is typically, nigga, get your ass out there, go to work. You dig what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
That's what we're talking about.
That was back in the day, though.
Back in the for shit, yes. Yeah, that was back in that. Granted, that was back in the day.
Yeah, see, that's what I thought when I was growing up, kind of like with my mother and father, although they wasn't married. But shit, I in my relationship with my girl, I pretty much cook, clean, you know. I do all this shit.
Right, which is fine. But what I'm getting at is that there's always been roles that were typically assigned to. Okay, primarily right now, the chief gender role that's typically discussed and narrowed down when you really get to the nitty gritty of it is who does the nurturing of the kids. I mean, let's be honest. That's the typical. Right. You dig what I'm saying?
Supposed to be the women. That's supposed to be the women.
Every time. I didn't even have to finish the sentence for you to know exactly where I was taking this.
Right.
But that's the point. If gender is fluid. Right. And I told him, I said, look, gender roles, somebody said it first, but I just said it differently. Gender roles didn't exist until Adam and Eve got kicked out the garden. If you read the Bible, you'll see that the pain of childbirth was afflicted upon women because they transgressed. Right? They transgressed. That's what happened. That's literally what happened.
When you say transgress, what do you mean?
What I mean is when Eve ate the fruit of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, and she didn't follow God's instruction. She couldn't just do it right. She couldn't just follow this one instruction like Adam and Eve. You know, you can have everything on the land. Just don't touch the apple. And our greatest grandmother, our great times however many thousands it takes to get there, grandma, she ate the apple. She always got. So
was Eve to blame for all that's wicked?
That's a great question. In a sense, you could say yes. In a sense, I would say no. Right? Because Adam was still the one to instruct. So it's both.
But Eve went against God's word, right?
She did. She did. She listened to a talking snake, which I can. So. No, go ahead. Y'all know my floor is open.
I don't want to cut anybody off.
No, Jimmy, you good. Come on, talk to us.
Yeah, the buck stopped with Adam, to be honest, because Adam was created first, and then Eve was created from his rib. So even though Eve took the first step, Adam still went along with it. And that's the structure of authority that God put in place in the beginning. Because, and that's something that it's just a lot of people want to be mad at Eve, but at the same time, Adam had a huge part to play in that.
But Adam couldn't stop Eve from biting the apple.
No, not her, but he could have stopped him from eating it and completing it, though.
So he went along with Eve, you're saying?
That's what the scripture says.
So he could have said no because God said don't, and you eat it, and I'm gonna fall back.
Eve could have got replaced. She could have.
I got you.
Eve could have got replaced. Eve could have got. I mean, I'm gonna say it like that. Eve could have been replaced. Benzino. She could have been.
And I think even then, even if Adam stopped it, God could have healed the whole thing and just redid that. But the thing is, where the buck stops on this earth, we have dominion, and a lot of times people like to put on God what's our responsibility, and that's where the structure of authority kicks in. Because it's ironic, because we look at business, we look at everything around us. There are systems, and then there are processes in place, because there are people that need to man certain tools. The garden was a whole system, ecosystem. And there's a reason why the birds and everything wakes up at a certain time in the morning. And why we have our galaxies and everything, it's all a system. But in the garden, they needed to tend to it. And that's where that whole dichotomy kicks in, because with Adam being, the head of the household, so to speak, Eve, even though she ate it, he could have stopped it right then and there and said, nope, you need to not do that anymore. We're not going to have this happen anymore. He could have cast the snake out, but he didn't. And that's the issue. And there's a book called Fresh Air by Chris Hodges that if anyone hasn't read it, it's a really, really good book. It talks about the difference between the tree of knowledge of good and evil and the tree of life, because there were two trees in the garden that most people don't talk about. And a lot of the issues that men face these days is that we try not to do the bad thing by doing the good thing, but we end up doing the bad thing, what Paul talked about, thorn in our flesh.
Yeah, I mean, the Apostle Paul said it best, Jeremy. He said, the good that I would, I do not. And the evil that I would not, that I do. I mean,
that's what's unique, is that anxiety, back in the Hebrew definition, means to focus on more than two things at once. And that's what double-mindedness comes in. James, and what he talks about in James, a double-minded man is unstable in all of his ways. And that's where a lot of the where fear comes from. When you're anxious, when you're overwhelmed, a lot of that happens because you're focused on more than one thing at a time. And that's why over in Isaiah 26:30, Jesus said, "Focus on me, and I'll keep you in perfect peace," because our mind is designed to focus on one thing. But yeah, so that's why it said in even Matthew 6:33, "See first the kingdom of God, and everything will be added unto you." Because if you focus on that, everything else will fall in place. And so, with the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, what the devil was lies and truth. When it comes down to being able to make sure you have a good balance of focus. Even Stephen Covey wrote about 4 disciplines of execution. It's proven out. And so our minds are hardwired to focus on one thing at a time and have everything in place. And that's why when it comes down to the tree of life, Jesus is the way, the life, and the truth, right? And so there's no accident that by trying to get the devil, he has no tricks that's new under the sun. He always tries to use our humanity against us. He tries to use our humanity against us because he's trying to get us in our own strength and out of the grace of God. And that's why things started to fall apart. Adam the buck stopped with him, and it could have stopped. And because they were in the tree of life beforehand. They ate of the fruit, but where were they beforehand? They were abiding by the tree of life. And so that's why God said not to do that, because it got them in their own strength. And that's why everything started to fall apart. And now that's why it's set in motion. That's why in Genesis 3, it said that my son will crush your heel. And that's where God put set in motion and started to lay down the train tracks in the old covenant. And man, I thank God I was born in the new covenant, man, because if you took a dump on a Sunday or on the Sabbath, our calendar is different from back then. But if you took a dump on the Sabbath, man, you were out of the covenant. Like, thank God I am bought by the blood of Jesus. Whew.
And there you go. There you go.
So it sounds to me that there's an order to things, and that when you're not following the order to things, this is where the chaos ensues, which is kind of what they want, a free for all. It's a anything goes culture now. So no one has the responsibility to take out the trash. No one has the responsibility to do the dishes. It's just whoever feels like it that day. There's no structure. There's no order to the household, which is what we see in the streets. There's no structure or order in the streets either. The children don't have order and structure. They don't know, it's like, oh, well, maybe mommy will say something different. So then she overrides what daddy says. So, I mean, this is kind of where it's seeming that they want to go with this genderlessness thing, with no gender roles, because it's like, where's the structure? Where's the order? Where's the authority? There's none.
Well,
I have a question. Oh,
go ahead.
No, go ahead, Jeremy. I know you're going to respond. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, I was actually going to add to it because I was going, hey, Benzino, could you mute the mic really quick? I'm getting an echo and feedback. I don't mean to be rude. It's just throwing me off. But appreciate it, brother. The biggest thing, too, I'm going to share a story with y'all. It's going to throw everything off. Stereotypically, looking at me, oh, yeah, I got it together. But one of the most interesting things is you guys can go to my profile and look at my story. But my parents divorced when I was 10. My dad was a dick. And just flat out, and every form of abuse except sexual abuse behind the scenes, but out on the outside, everything looked great because my dad was flashy, but he wasn't there present. He thought money could fix his presence. Money never replaces presence, ever. And it's interesting because, I mean, I'm also a part owner in a woman-owned landscaping business as well, and that's on purpose. This is my second acquisition in this field, and it's interesting because when it comes to my wife and I would not be the man today if it wasn't for the man that God sent in my path. Because I kid you not, my mom, I'm the oldest of 3 siblings. So my mom sacrificed, but she wasn't there emotionally. My dad manipulated me emotionally. And it was interesting to see because because all of that abuse and everything, all the lies and manipulation drove me to contemplating suicide. But when I came to my senses, of course, that's the night, May 6, 2008 is when I came and gave my life to Christ. And that's when I started to understand I was actually forgiven, not because of what I could do, because if there's anything that I can do for God to be in a good mood for me, and there's something that I can do for him not to be in a good mood, then I'm screwed, and that's the thing. Like, that's where, when it comes to grace, it's like with my dad, and I'll tie this back around to what we were talking about, I think it was Nicole or somebody else was talking earlier about, when the husband comes home, not to criticize him, not to try and fix him, not to be their mom, but to see the potential in them. And I had to do that with my dad. My dad, I was freaking 17 at the time, and I'm over here feeling like I'm the parent to my dad. But a kid, like, I've shared my story a couple times in here, but my dad literally told the judge that she was in contempt of court and divorce court after he tested positive for cocaine. Like, that's how stubborn and stupid he was. And that's what I had to deal with. But I saw something in him, because the more I understood that I was forgiven and I had potential, I had a calling. Because God, for one thing, there's no such person as a lost cause. If you believe that, then you are screwed. You cannot constitute that to be the truth. If you constitute someone else being a lost cause because they hurt you and you haven't forgiven them, then you are backed yourself in a corner and you cannot get out of it, because only the blood of Jesus cleans all sin. And so I saw the potential in him, and I drew it out of him by walking in love with him. There's, 1 Corinthians 13, flat out. And it was where I saw that potential in him. I treated him in a way that he should behave. I didn't treat him and condescend him or hurt him because of what he did, which I could have easily done that, and I could have been justified. But at the same time, that relationship was valuable to me because that was my dad. And it's interesting. My mom didn't want nothing to do with him. My siblings wanted to be around him, but all he wanted to do is talk trash about my mom when we were around him. I said, there's only one condition I'm going to bring him around you, is if you don't. If you do, the moment you do, we're leaving. He had a couple tries. It was 3-strike rule. And I warned him. And I don't know if y'all ever been in a situation where old head, when he apologizes or when he says he's right, he always makes sound effects. It's so stupid. And it's interesting because it's a whole situational thing now, even with my wife. There's a lot of times where, because we're 2 years married, we had my wife's Kenyan, and, we had the traditional wedding, and we had, pun intended, the white wedding, with bringing all of our families together. And it was just interesting because there's a lot of stuff that is her therapy, but also is my therapy, we exchange roles. I love to cook for her, but I'm also out there, on 2 to 3 different businesses and with an e-learning platform and other stuff, but I'm hustling. I'm up until sometimes 3 a.m. in the morning, wake up at 7 and keep on rolling. But I'm there with her, though. I make sure that I design my lifestyle around that to be present because of what I didn't have when I was growing up. And, and it's like, man, I got so sick of people looking at me and saying, oh, man, I wish I had your life. Okay, great. Well, let me tell you the real story. Like, now do you really want it? And their face dropped, because after I turned my life around, I started telling like a lot of stuff. I was healing from. And being able to, in the light, of course, to bring hope, not to be like, oh my God, nothing like that. Because I wanted to bridge and restore that relationship. But it came to the point where I had to set boundaries with my dad. Same thing with my wife. I had to set boundaries with her in certain areas, and I had to unlearn some things. My God, I had to learn some things. You know, there's an old saying, you find the most out about somebody when you marry them and you do business with them, right? Because there's a covenant that's created and there's an exchange. And so that's where you have to find out, okay, look, of course, we have our standard roles of what we do as a provider, as a protector, as a nurturer, and as a father, but also too as a mother, you know, to be able to step in those areas as well. But man, I wasn't kidding earlier. I dropped in the comments. Young boys have a built-in bounce feature, and I kid you not. I told my wife, I said, when we don't have kids yet, but I'm speaking from what I didn't have as growing up, that I'm going to be and cut that generational curse with my family, and I'm going to be that stopgap. And make sure, because my nephew's mixed, you know, and I haven't shared this much, but they were contemplating aborting him. But I sat down and I told him, I said, don't you dare. I said, don't you dare. We are here and we're here to help. And that was the biggest fear. And so it's interesting because a lot of the things that are happening even too throughout these days, people are trying to find balance, but they need to know who the heck they are first and be secure in themselves and what they can accomplish and what they can provide. Your gifting will make room for you. You don't need to elbow your way in. And it's interesting because there's a lot of templates that people like to go by, but there are certain cornerstones, but also too some things that, just like my wife, she has an interior design business now. We have online stores. And, you know, it's like, she's a passionate woman and I want to support her and breathe life into her. I retired her the first year we got married. I found out real quick that being the boss and the husband first year of marriage was not a good idea. So we shifted gears real quick.
But I think,
and man, oh man, but yeah, it was just really cool.
Yeah, I was gonna say, even to that point though, you have an understanding that there's order. There's a way things are supposed to be. But this is the issue that I've got with members of that damn community. Again, someone proved to me there's more than two genders. Someone explained to me how a minority now is the majority. Well, because a minority of people are intersex, now gender's fluid. That's bullshit. It's pure bullshit. I will never grasp this concept. Matter of fact, I'm gonna play this clip. I'm gonna actually play this clip from it's an old classic clip from I think was it Matt Lauer? What was Nicole? What was the guy's name that was on Dr. Phil? And he was going back and forth with the transgenders. What was it? What was it? Yeah, it was Matt. Matt. So
Matt Walsh.
Matt Walsh. That's his name. Matt Walsh.
Oh yeah, I knew it was Matt.
Yeah. Exactly. So here's the.
Julio.
Hey, Shayan, how you doing? Good morning. Good to see you. What's going on with you?
Nothing. I like the topic. Hello, everybody. All the beautiful ladies. Bianca is so pretty being pregnant. Can I address the topic before?
Yes, please. You know you can say whatever you want. Come on, man. Talk to us.
In case. So, I do agree that gender roles are natural. Like, God did make these gender roles for a reason. Of course, society, the feminist movement and everything has changed a lot. And we're living in modern days and stuff like that. But I don't know, like, it's like these gender roles is causing I feel like it's causing our community, mainly the Black community, to not be successful when it comes to marriages and things of that nature, to appreciate having a partner, a husband, a wife. Because I'm gonna be honest, as a wife of 8 years, my husband never had to tell me to do anything. I just automatically started doing it, making sure the house was clean, making sure his uniform was ready for the next day, making sure we're both good to go to work the next day, and making sure, I make his favorite meals that he likes, just the random things. And I feel like people make it a problem as if it's an issue or something, when it's really not. It's just, that's kind of our place. That is our place as a woman. Because back in the day, women wasn't, doing a lot that us women are doing now. They were mainly focused on the household, the children, and things like that. So it's like, You know, it's different now, and I understand your dynamic is your dynamic. I don't want to seem like I'm judging anybody, but you know, I do what I do because I know my husband works very, very hard with being in the Air Force, and he keeps a roof over my head. So, you know, he pays majority of the bills. I work, but he pays majority of the bills. And that's just, I just feel like that's how it's supposed to be, honestly. I don't know. Maybe because I've seen my grandmother do it and my aunt and my aunt and uncle relationships. I don't know. You know, I just feel like, you know, it's too much. And like, I didn't want to have kids. I literally told my husband, like, we should wait to have kids. So that way when we have kids, I can be able to be a full-time mom at home. You know, I can be able to be pregnant and be able to, you know, tend to my children without having to work and give, you know, and not give all to my children, you know? So I don't know. Society has messed things up.
Society has screwed us up majorly. I mean, let's just go ahead and let's go ahead. Let's get this shit out in the open, man. Society has screwed us up majorly, and that's the problem. That's literally the problem. And I think that what we're missing in society today, see, we couldn't just follow simplistic instructions. We could. I have no idea why we couldn't, except the fact that humans are stupid, and we're stubborn. Well, right, but again, you know, when you look at and you break down these kinds of conversations, it always, good morning, Letitia, it always regenerates or degenerates, excuse me, into nonsense, right? The fact that we live in a society today, the fact that we live in a society today where you can't be anything, you can't have an opinion that is anti. Or that is not just, it's not pro LGBTQ. It's not pro them. If it's not pro them, it's bullshit. If it's not pro them, it's offensive. If it's not pro them, if it's not accepting, because the LGBTQ wants, this is what they are. They want pseudo acceptance. They want acceptance by silence. You either agree with me or you have no right to say anything negative. You have no right to say anything that could be even remotely painted as antithetical to what I am, because what I am is more important than what you believe. What my own self-prescribed ideology, my own subjective opinion is more important than your objective facts. That's the LGBTQ community in a nutshell.
But it's not just that either. Like when I hear women say, like, why do I have to have a gender role to do this and do that and all these other things? And I'm just like, I don't understand it, because I feel as though, like, if you love your significant other, if you, as a woman, if you really, really love your husband, you're going to automatically, naturally just do it. I don't know. That's how I see it. That's how I look at it. I'm going to automatically make sure my husband is taken care of when it comes to the household.
As you should.
I'm going to stay and I'm going to rest in my femininity, because that's, like, I mean, I work, but I work from home comfortably, and that's that. Like, if I wanted to work part-time, I could work part-time if I want to. Like, that's that. I'm a rest in my femininity. He can go out there and do all the hard work. I don't care. He can do the hard work because that's what he's supposed to do as a man. He's supposed to do the hard work. But when I hear these women stating things like, you know, this is not the 1950s and stuff like that, well, I mean, it ain't even about the 1950s. It's just about your role as a woman when you are in a relationship or a marriage, mainly in a marriage. Anyways, it's just about your role, and you should automatically want to do it if you absolutely love your partner and genuinely care for them. That's how I see it.
That way to me makes a lot of damn sense.
Hello?
Yes, go ahead. What do you got?
Hey, good morning, people. Good morning, everybody. Or afternoon, depending on where you are. Yeah, this topic is always an interest of mine, because a lot of you pretty much took all my answers from you. These through the 70s. And one of the things that our grandparents did was they got together. And it was in that time that God showed me that one of the things he gave us was wisdom. When he told us to run this earth, you know, he wasn't just talking to Adam and Eve, he was talking to humankind, to mankind.
And he gave us the ability to do it. I want you to run the earth, and I'm gonna give you the power to self-govern. As long as you do it according to what I give you, everything is going to work. And it wasn't until we started second guessing what he said that things went into awry. When we started second guessing what he said, it got out of order. It was just disorder, and it started with the family. And so, our grandparents put together this structure for the home. And as you all are talking about with this new generation, everybody trying to come up with new standards and oh, it's so barbaric and all this. It ain't that. It's just that you weren't born in those times. In those times, that's the construct, that's the framework that they constructed so that the home could run smoothly. When there's order, there's no tension. When there's order, there's no tension, there's no chaos, there's no arguing. When there's order and like being on a team and a person understanding their role to help the team win, the team is successful. There's a flow. And so there was a flow. And it wasn't that grandpa couldn't do grandma's duties. It wasn't that grandma couldn't do grandpa's. It was that they figured we're gonna work smart, not hard. So grandma, yes, you can take out the garbage, but why? That's a physical job. I'm a physical man. I'll take on that. Okay, grandma, you got the dishes and some of the other things. This is how smoothly we're going to run our home so that when we have children, our children are born into this structure. Then as you fast forward and you start dealing with like a generational decline in that type of agreement and order, now you have a new generation saying, no, I don't want to do that. You have a new generation coming in and trying to redefine what was working. And not that they even have to adapt to it, but don't attack it. Build off of it. Improve it so that things can run smoother. But don't come along and try to say, oh, that's barbaric, oh, that's this, oh, that's that. And so now, now when you're dealing with the gender roles, it's like now with the rise in the homosexual movement, you now have both genders trying to outdo each other being the other gender, which is crazy. When I don't want to do what God created the female to do. I don't want to do it. She was anointed. She was made to do that. Okay, go ahead and do that. And it's an even flow. We're going to flow. We're going to come together in agreement and the wisdom that God gave us, and we're going to create some order. And so now you have both genders competing against each other, trying to outdo each other, trying to outperform each other, trying to show that, hey, I can be a better man than you as a woman. I could be a better woman than you. And that's crazy. And then but the attack on masculinity and even femininity began when that happened. We didn't start hearing about toxic anything until the movement began to pick up momentum. And you have to redefine, once again, going back to that garden, that garden incident where you got to redefine things, and it's creating more chaos. So now let's redefine. Let's call what we used to call masculinity, let's call it toxic now, because we want to redefine what masculinity is. We want to redefine what femininity is. And we're dealing with and we're seeing the chaos that we're seeing today. And as the brother just stated, now if you don't agree with them, now you're this phobic, now you're that phobic. No, I just don't agree with you. If you want me to tell you that you're a man, but yet you're a woman, I want you to tell me what's the difference between me and you. What makes me a man who was naturally born this? And what makes you a man and you weren't naturally born that? You have to show me that, scientifically show me that, what makes you like me. And we're dealing with all this chaos, and we're wondering why things are going on, because when you're trying to redefine things and operate in a different set of definitions and standards, it don't work, and it's showing. It's showing. But we don't want to say we messed up. Mankind is too prideful for that. We want to keep going. We want to keep fighting. We want to keep coming against people that don't agree with me saying that I'm all of these 5,000 genders. I'm like, okay, I could have sworn it was only 2. I don't know where these other hundreds of others came from. I don't get it. But this is what happens when we're allowed to redefine things that God already set in place in the beginning.
Yes. And if I can add something too, I just think that's just like a Western thing, to be quite honest, because Like, you go to Dominican Republic, you go to Peru, you go to other countries, we still maintain those roles. And Hispanic people here in this country still maintain those roles. Primarily, the man is the one that works, the woman is the one that stays at home, takes care of the kids, cooks, cleans, makes the house into a home, right? So I just think it's American. It's not really like, you know what I'm saying? It's not like a problem if you go to like Eastern countries. It's not a problem in South America. It's just here. It's just here in America.
We live today, we live in a society that is full of subjectivity. It's full of subjectivity. And I want to focus on something. I want to play a very, very, very brief clip of the conversation between Matt and a trans woman from Dr. Phil. And I want us to break this one down. Matt Walsh. So let's do this. I want y'all to hear this conversation.
That's a question I would like to throw out to other members of the panel, actually, because just like the 4-year-old can't answer what is a girl. Well, this is one of the problems with this left-wing gender ideology, is that no one who espouses it can even tell you what these words mean. Like, what is a woman?
Well,
can you tell me what a woman is?
No, I can't. Because it's not for me to say. Womanhood looks different for everybody.
What do you define a woman as?
An adult human female.
And what does a female mean?
Well,
how
that's
do you define a female?
someone with female reproductive organs.
Okay.
Someone who's, here's the thing, when you're female, it goes right down to your bones, your DNA. So that's why if someone dies, we could dig up their bones 100 years from now. We have no idea what they believed in their head, but we can tell what sex they were because it's ingrained in every fiber of their being. You stood up here and said trans women are women.
Yes.
Tell me what you mean. What is a woman?
Womanhood is something that, just as Ethan explained, I cannot define because I am not
But
myself.
You used the word. So what did you mean when you said trans women are women if you don't know what it means?
Right. So here's the thing. So I do not define what a woman is because I do not identify as a woman.
That's bullshit. And that's the most of the clip that I can play without getting a copyright. That's bullshit. It sounds like to me some made up crap. This is the same old crap over and over and over again. And I want to say so badly, right? I want to say so bad to these people that espouses crap.
Oh, you're silly. You're silly.
I mean, it's that simple. It's literally that fucking simple. Because you have to understand, and again, this let's pick our game up some here, people. Like for real, getting involved like that, and just it's not getting in. Listen, when you get involved like that with the changing of terms and definitions, you're losing your mind. You're losing your mind. In my humble opinion, I'm sorry to tell you, you're losing your friggin' minds, people. Because it doesn't make any damn. It's all relative, man. It's all relative. It's all a bunch of bull, man. It's all a bunch of bull, man. You can't tell me logically what a woman is, but you got the right to tell me gender is fluid. You don't even know what gender is. How can you define something except you first know the chief definition of it? I see Leah's back. Leah, what you got? How was the room this morning? I know it's probably still going on, which is why mine's a little bit smaller. How's
we just ended the room. I mean, listen, the space it's always there to have the dialogue and the exchange from both sides. I'm not a religious person, so I don't put religion on it. I just put, basic science and biology on it. And that tends to shred the argument from the other side most of the time. But we just create the space for people to have the dialogue about gender roles and how important it is, and I'm never going to wave from my position when it comes to gender roles. Can I, get things done? Yeah. But do I want to play my husband's role? No. I'm arresting my femininity. Let him do him. Right. Can he cook? Yeah, he can. But I do all the cooking because he liked my cooking better. And it's what it is, right? So I'm never gonna waver. And you know, people got in arms when I said that if my son is decide to be, you know, to identify as something else, you know, me saying that I'm gonna be disappointed, right, is a problem. Then you take that up with whoever Jesus you have, or you take that up with whatever moral standard you have. That's just my position.
Do you think
right?
people have? Do you think people have moral values in today's society, Leah? Do you think people? I don't think they do.
How they lay it down by the wayside like the disciples, sweetheart. No, they
Yes.
don't. And it's like people want to be accepted, and it's like I don't understand how such a small community can make you move and just throw all your morals out the window. Like, what are we doing? That like you don't even believe that, but you'll stand with it. Why? Because you want to be seen as cool. You want to be seen as hip. You don't want to be seen as no type of phobic. Like, child, I don't care about no type of label nobody put on me. If I want to raise my sons to wear blue, that's what's gonna be. When they get to an adult age, and I don't even look at 18 as adulthood, but if you get to the point where you're moving out and you're living on your own, then you live your life as you choose to lead. But under my roof, I have guidelines. You don't want to play ball, then it's up to you.
I cannot agree more. I can't. We think that because a kid can say something that then we have to respect it. Children say stuff all the time that is bullshit. You know, if a 4-year-old comes to me, if my son, when he turns 4, says, "Dad, I'm a girl," I'm looking at him like, "No, you don't know what you're talking about, son. You're just saying something." People place there's a time to listen to a child. There's a time not to listen to a child. Sometimes children just say stupid shit.
The sad part is when they try to say, when someone try to say that from birth, when you push a child out, or when a child first come into this world, they're indoctrinated automatically, into heterosexual normative behavior. And for me, I'm like, that's because biology spoke first. That's because
Exactly.
first. Like, genetics said this is how it's supposed to be.
It sounds to me like they got a problem with it, but again, it sounds when you say stuff like that, it sounds to me like people have a problem with natural biology because they want to because
that's what it is.
Yeah,
Yes.
because Leah, they even want to blame that. They want to say natural biology is a product of the white man. So Jeremy and the people that look like him have the power to write in genetic code. They have the power to write in a natural attraction to the opposite sex. I didn't know white people. I didn't know white people were creators of biology too. I didn't know white people wrote the 6 billion characters in the human genetic code. I had no idea that a white man did that. The good old American white man. I had no idea.
Showing by example, right? Like, shout out to my in-laws, my husband, mother, and father. They just went on vacation. Been married over 40-something years. Had wealth enough that they could have passed it down to him, and now we are creating it and maintaining it to pass it down to our sons. How can we now tell them that order of business is wrong? How can we? It's worked for 3 generations. In my opinion, like, I'm looking at it working, and I'm looking at it being a good foundation and a good fabric for them to come from, and a good structure, right? How can I then tell them anything other than that is what it's supposed to be? I can tell them that, and I can teach them that. That doesn't mean when they grow up and they're able to make their own decisions, they're not going to go the other way. But how, for me as a mother, like, how can I tell them that's not how you're not supposed to be like your father? When you see your father bringing me flowers and shit, that's not how it's supposed to go. Like, it could go anyway. Like, it's whatever. Like, I'm not going to do that. If that's how you want to run your household, kudos, but it's not going to happen over here.
This is what I didn't understand. And ladies, y'all can correct me if I'm wrong. When women were asking men to step up because we were absent from our children's lives, step up because he needs to know how a man moves. He needs to know what a man does. He needs to see a man. He needs to, so that he'll know how to, carry himself. That's been the cry for women throughout the years, to absentee fathers, so that the son does not learn everything from just the mother's influence and start expressing himself the way he see his mother doing it because she's been the only influence. That's been the cry for years. Daddy, step up, step up. But then some of the very same people turn right around and praise Dwayne Wade for encouraging his son to act like a girl.
At the age of 12.
I just did not get that.
At the age of 12.
Because I'm like, the cry was, Daddy, step up, so that he wouldn't.
At the age of 12 or 11, he decided his son decided, I want to be a chick. Yo, you ain't even finished. You ain't even finished with puberty yet, but you already know that you want to be a woman. You ain't even had no coochie, but already know you want to chop off your dick. Come on.
And then you're gonna tell me that at the age of 3 you were thinking about this. You couldn't even pick your bedtime, but yet you're telling me you were picking your gender at the age of 3. No. And I know that Gabrielle Union had a lot to do with that, because she said in an interview one time her mother took her to a pride parade when she was young. And they don't understand how the enemy works. The enemy always comes at that age of influence and at that age of innocence. And the reason why they want people quiet and not speaking out against it, and they come up with all these theories to defend it and all this, because the more you're quiet about it, the more they can normalize it and woven into society and make it normal. And they scare the people that want to speak out about it. You got to be quiet, because that hinders the agenda of trying to normalize it into society. And when you are introduced to things when you're young and those things get normal, you think that is a part of life. So I believe Gabrielle Union had a lot to do with that. But I'm like, hold on, ladies, to the ladies that do that, I'm like, okay, y'all was telling us to step up, but then when we're encouraging our sons to act the opposite, we celebrate it. I don't get it.
Yeah, his I like the fact that y'all brought up the Gabrielle Dwayne Wade situation.
Oh yeah, because we know Gabrielle Union had something to do with that shit. We know she did, because that wasn't even her kid.
Things working. Exactly, but there's two things working at play here, because that brings up this whole simp culture as well, right? Women praising men that taking the back seat to their wives. In this situation, you have Dwayne Wade, who allowed his current wife to pretty much dictate what he should do with a child that's not even hers.
That ain't even right? Biologically her pretty kid.
Exactly. Pretty much just parading this young, man around as if he's a female. And I gotta say that, man, if what we're looking at right now is the black feminist movement is equivalent to white supremacy. This is what we're seeing, right? And when it comes to the LGBT,
that's a discussion. That's a discussion. Wow.
Yeah, because that's exactly what's happening, Julio. Like, I watch it on this platform, and a lot, and not all, because it's never absolute, but a lot of these black women who's, strongly entrenched in this feminist movement are the ones that's most disrespectful and belittle and talk down to black men. And I'm talking about like recklessly. I know y'all, some of you have witnessed this. And there's this gender crisis going on, and the woman doesn't even know that she's being tricked out of her position. Basically, you now have men that are transitioning into women that are taking natural women's rights. But in most cases, not all cases, but in most cases, it's natural women who are supporting the trans movement more than anybody else.
That's a fact.
That's a fact. It's not like it's men running around here, really, really supportive of this whole trans movement. And yeah, we want women we want men to turn into women and nothing like that. What happened is with the gay community and women, right, becoming close friends with gay men because, quote unquote, they relate to them, or they can get it because they, talk in the same way, and yeah, bitch, and whatever, and so on and so forth, right? To where that became their alliance. So they pretty much became allies with gay men, but not knowing that under the skies, under the veil of all of that going on, gay men were slowly coming for their fucking position. And this is what we're seeing right now in front of us, right? And I don't even think women are aware of what's going on. It's the same trickery that happened during the civil rights movement when the feminist movement started at that time, and the white women tricked the black woman to stop fighting for civil rights and fight for women's rights. It's and those women's rights didn't even include our black women. So they basically took them from our movement to help them fight a movement because they wanted equality with their white counterpart. They wanted to be, able to go out and work and make as much money as their white husband. That was never our fight because we never treated our women as second class to us. But our women got tricked and they got convinced that that was the movement they need to support. And now fast forward, you have this black feminist movement. And this is the movement, to me, nobody can tell me nothing different, is equivalent, if not worse, than white supremacy. And I'll land right there.
And who signed off on the dotted line to say church? Because the church, man, is the church.
And that's where he just took us to this morning. That's it. It's that simple. I don't know where we get off. I don't know where or why as human beings we have this battle with facts. You are entitled to your own opinion. You're not entitled to your own facts. Black women were sold, bought, and paid for by black women have become the chief enlisted soldiers of the LGBTQIA diaspora of the community. They become the chief enlisted soldiers. They pay the cost. They pay the cost of their own oppression. I'll say it and stand on it. They pay the cost of their own oppression. And it's not meant to be funny. It's not meant to make a joke. I'm just telling you what it is, folks. You pay the cost. You got to pay the cost to be the boss, man. And that's not the way that it goes. And it's sad, man. It's terrible.
A lot of trans people are coming out when they're young.
Say that again.
I said a lot of trans kids are coming out at a younger age. It doesn't mean that they.
What qualifies them to do that? What age? At what age, Naughty? Serious question. Hold on. Let me have this dialogue because me and Naughty go back and forth all the time. Naughty, at what age? At what age are you qualified to speak on what you are?
Well, here's the thing, right?
No. Hold on, Rich. Let her answer. Let her answer. I'm talking to her.
Okay.
I'm not just saying that you're qualified. I'm just basically saying if I have a structure of a family, if I have a mother and a stepfather, and I'm saying, hey, Dad, I'm feeling like this is how I'm feeling, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I did.
Mm-hmm.
So I went to my father at the age of 5
Mm-hmm.
and said, this is how I'm feeling. I don't want to wear these clothes.
Mm-hmm.
I want to wear these, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then he goes off into, due to him not being more educated, want to vet me properly and sit me down and have that conversation, he beat me, right? Beat me up because he felt like he's trying to beat the gay out of me, but I wasn't good. I didn't like this man. I just felt like I was in the wrong, not just in the wrong body, but more so in the wrong clothing at that age. So I was trying to express myself as such. So it does happen where I was not influenced. I didn't have influence to be like, oh my God, I see my mother, I also see my stepfather. So that's just how I felt at a younger age. So there are kids that are trans that feels that way. And then when you talk about womanhood, my womanhood, I'm navigating as such as being a trans woman. So that's how I navigate my womanhood, because every womanhood is different.
Do you believe
So
that you are a real woman though? Do you believe that hold on, let me say that. No, let me say it this way. Let me say it this way. Let me rephrase the question, because that can be a little bit extra offensive, even though I'm not trying to be. Do you believe that your womanhood is equivalent to that of a woman that was born with ovaries, with a vagina, with all? Do you believe that your womanhood is equivalent? Yes or no?
No.
That's why you and I can talk. That's why you and I can talk, because you understand the difference. But there are people out here today in your community that share your experience that say that their womanhood is just as authentic, just as equivalent, just as real. And I say unto you, that's BS. Because
I navigate my womanhood as a trans woman. I can't navigate it as a biological woman.
But even when I use the term biological or natural born, it offends too many people of that ilk. When all I'm doing is creating a separation. That's all I'm doing. Because everybody knows how Julio talks. Y'all, for all intents and purposes, know that you're living in a fantasy. You're living in a fantasy in my worldview. I'm willing to grant you. No, I'm willing to grant you that fantasy. I'm willing to give you the luxury of seeing. I'm willing to grant you the respect that I will see you the way you want me to see you. Doesn't mean I have to believe it, but I'm going to grant you that respect. But I'm going to delineate, right? Because we all know I would never date you because I want children. Because I want a natural born female woman. Natural thing. I need to come straight from the source, man. I can't.
And that's fine.
But when I say it, right? But when I say it, Julio's an asshole. Austin is homophobic. He's heterophobic. Excuse me. He's not homophobic. He's transphobic. You see him getting that? I can't just have an opinion. Right. But see, you understand that though. You understand it's just a preference. You understand I don't mean any harm by it, but everybody else does it though. That's what I'm getting at. That's where the irritation comes into play. Because you understand, oh, Austin just being Austin. That's just Austin's preference. I'll still sit down and have a conversation with you. You can come to my house for Christmas dinner. You can come to my house, have a conversation, sit down. But because I don't want to date you now, I'm afraid of you. Now I want to see all of you dead. No, that's sick. That's sick. You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm getting? But that's the problem. That's what they want. That's what they want from us. You want me to completely, there is a growing cauldron of those trans people that want to be seen as if they're the authentic thing. That's not it. That's minute. That'll be lit. That's got to sit for later. That's left field. We got to be looking for we got to look at the bigger picture, man. Because they're already looking to downplay us. So our vocabulary, our movement speed, our movement style, our mindset, we have to have a bigger mindset. We can't just sit up and sit there and say, all right, well, because I feel this way, because I feel that. No, that's not how that goes. Your feelings do not change facts. I may feel like it looks too gray outside for me. The fact that I feel that way is not going to change the fact that it's still a cloudy day outside in the state of Georgia where I'm sitting at right now. It's still a cloudy day in the state of Georgia, man. It's still a cloudy day in the state of Georgia.
Hey, because feelings could be manipulated, right? And this is what I was trying to say about the children thing. Like one of the things Michael Walsh said was, right, if my 7 or 8 year old come to me and says that, hey, daddy, I'm a girl, he will ask him, what is a girl, right? And or why do you feel like you're a girl? And 9 times out of 10, you're gonna hear things like, oh, because I like to I want to play with girl dolls, or I like to watch My Little Pony or something like that. In essence, what a child is saying at that young, they're not saying, hey, I feel like I want to change my whole sex from a male to. What they're saying is they want to participate in girl activities, because growing up, basically you tell a boy, oh, hey, this is for girls. Boys don't play with that. Girls don't play with that. So when a boy feels like that, it doesn't necessarily mean he want to change his sex. It just means that he want to participate, or he might have nieces that he hang with, and his nieces is playing with dolls all day, and he around his nieces. 9 times out of 10, a child has, depending on them. Yeah, you're going to be influenced by what's around you. So
no, it's called gender fluid. Like that's the gender fluid. So it's just like
hold on 1 second, Naughty, because all that's gender fluid shit is all new stuff. This is new. Like really think about this. Let's take it back 20-25 years ago, right? When we had a lot of tomboys, right? We all heard that word, right? It was a bunch of females that rather dress, in male clothing, rather play male sports, rather hang out with the guys. And I grew up around a whole bunch of them, and none of them ever looked at a female or wanted to be with a female or thought that they wanted to be a man. It's just that they were into male activities that do not. Like, just think about it. 25 years ago, we was playing this gender fluid shit, right? That means every tomboy from back in the days would have been considered gay, right? They would have been convinced to change their gender from a female to a male just because they was into male activities or wanted to wear male clothing. And that's incorrect. That's what they're trying to do with this gender fluid shit. It doesn't make sense. It's not logical, right? This is what I'm saying. They playing off of feelings, and they using people's feelings to manipulate situations and push an agenda. Because you want to wear boy clothes as a girl when you're 5 or 6, or you want to play basketball, does not mean that you want to change your sex to become a man. It does not equate. It is not synonymous.
Amen.
And this is what they're trying to make it as though it is. It's
Amen,
not,
brother.
We're not a monolith. All of us are not the same. I mean, even with that being said, sometimes you can just be a tomboy or a feminine male. You don't have to be transgender at all, or you could just be gay or lesbian. But I don't think at the age of that little that you're thinking about laying with other men. So I would call it gender fluid, because oftentimes when a child, just say a son is playing with a kitchen set, oftentimes, people can be too prideful and feel like, well, you're not supposed to play with that. That's your sister's. But what if he just wanted to be a chef? Or what if I just think that you should learn how to navigate that?
If he want to be, listen, if he want to be a chef, that's fine and cool and dandy, right? We got no problem with that. But if you want to be a chef, being a tomboy as a kid is not indicative of being gender fluid, right? because my twin was a tomboy, but based
I
on
was
the
too. I
definition,
was a
I was about to say,
tomboy
based
too.
on the definition that a lot of people want to give, just because a girl wants to play basketball, now she's, gender fluid. No, she just, you just like doing stuff that, other people like to do. So I think that what is happening though is, and y'all real quick, we only got 37 shares, but we got 159 people here. Can we get the shares up and get the likes up on the video? Click the link at the top of the screen, push the thumbs up button. We're still streaming live. Been going at this for an hour and 4 minutes. So I'll give y'all another hour. But I'm telling you, listen, these kinds of conversations have to be had. Because Sasha, I think Sasha, you just kind of spoke to being a tomboy. I think Leah as well. I think Leah said before she liked playing sports and stuff like that as well. So I think, I don't think that makes them any less, or even Bianca as well. I don't think that makes a woman any less feminine because she likes to play sports. I would love Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
No, I mean that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying gender fluid would be that you're just fluid in your gender. So if she chooses to do that, she can do that. I mean, and other people may look at that as being a tomboy, but the proper terminology is gender fluid. Like that's not taken away from her womanhood. That's not going to take away from his manhood. He's just gender, or she's just gender fluid. Even if he was a man and he wanted to wear pink, that's not going to take away from his manhood. He's just being, quote unquote, since we say pink is for girls and blue is for boys, he's just in his gender, being gender fluid.
We have the right to reject those definitions and phrases. And I think that's the power of this stuff, is that you can create these phrases and people have to abide by. I don't think it is a proper. I think you have the right to reject that we identify as that gender fluid stuff.
I mean, you can. It's just, I'm not saying that you, it's gender fluid. But if you say, hey, I don't want to be called that, or hey, that's not a thing for me, that's fine. And I could respect that. But that is the thing. But
No,
if you
you
feel
have
like
the
that's
not a thing,
right to say
period.
that it's not a thing too. You have the right to say that that's not true.
It's
It can be a
It's in the
thing for
dictionary.
you. It doesn't
Can
have
I-
to not be a thing for us. It can be a thing for you, because in reality, it is not a thing. You guys, that's in y'all's mind.
Hey, you can
But we get new
no,
words
you
and new
can tell us-
definitions all the time, right? So I'm confused on. I mean, I didn't make it up, but it's the
Yeah,
thing.
no, you didn't make it up. No, but here's the thing. You didn't make it up, but that term was just recently made up. So how you going to tell us that something is true that was recently made up 2-3 years ago? You get what I'm saying? Like these terminologies are fairly new that people have put in place because they are pushing an agenda. That's the reason why these terminologies are even brought up. Like somebody mentioned the toxic masculinity earlier, right? We never heard about this shit prior to 5 years ago. Like these are all terminologies that are put in place now because they are pushing an agenda. These shits didn't exist before. So why do they hold more weight than what we know to be true forever?
That's the whole thing. That's the whole thing.
Yeah,
these
phrases
are weapons.
Can I say something every day? That has nothing to do with LGBT. It's new terminologies and word every single day. So, I mean, I would think that would be evolution. I mean, you had to start from somewhere to lead into something. Now, words that was in 1995 is different from it's 2022. So I'm confused on. I think now we're picking and choosing. That's just
No,
how
but
I feel.
these words are made by a particular political and social ideology, and these words are weapons. These words
Bingo.
are tools being used to create reality and shape minds and shape culture and shape values and shape. Not only do we got the right, I think it's to our benefit as just free thinking people, like as people that's trying to keep society the way that it is, or construct our community in a certain way, to reject certain phrases that have their origin in certain ideologies that we fundamentally disagree with.
Can I say something? I just want to say something real quick. Hey, Leah Boo, I didn't even know that you was down there. But I wanted to say really quick. So something that really kind of made me, feel kind of weird about all these different terms and things that are trying to be changed and stuff and pushed than what we're used to, is like, for instance, like when someone has a child, because I've heard this on the app, that when us women, when we have a child, apparently we shouldn't assign the gender. Apparently we shouldn't assign the gender. We shouldn't assign the gender until later on, I guess, when the child decides rather what they would choose to like to be. And then another thing is when women have baby showers, that it shouldn't be pink for girls and blue for boys. Like it should just be, I guess it should just be any other colors besides that. And apparently, from what I heard on this app, that it's a problem that, you know, that with how things have been, that it's a problem for if women have baby showers, that if you have a girl, we're going to do pink. And if you have a boy, it's going to be blue. And I'm just trying to figure out like, what's the purpose of that? And I think the whole problem also is that people who like the way things have already been and what we have been taught, we're comfortable in that. And this is what we understand. And this is what we know. Now, you do have people that are open to changing those things, but then you have other people who, like me, for instance, and I can't speak for anybody else, but probably Dr. Julio as well, that want to stick to what we already know, but not get criticized for it. You know, that's the main issue, is that because we want to stick to what we know and what makes us feel comfortable, and then we get criticized for it and we get called transphobic, homophobic, and all this other stuff, and weird and stuff like that, when really we just sticking to what we want to stick to. Like, this is America. We have the right to do that, but without being criticized.
No, you don't.
I mean,
you don't. No, you not anymore. No, you don't.
I just feel like, and the thing is, I've always supported the LGBTQ community. I always have.
But let me ask you this: have they supported you?
That's what I'm saying. That's what I was about to say.
No.
Like they haven't supported me, and recently I've been getting, me and my husband both have been getting bashed by the community and everything else for no reason.
I wonder why the hell that is. I wonder why the hell that
coming
is.
out saying that my husband is on the down low, and you probably don't know your husband that well. He be in rooms, like, he don't participate in conversations. He'll just come in and listen. But because he be in certain rooms where people are talking about transgender and the LGBT community, and I'm like, how would that make him down low? Like, right now we're talking about it, and it's a whole bunch of heterosexual men in here, so I'm confused.
So
You
I
know,
would never in life disrespect. You my sister. Like, I would never in life disrespect that at all, or disrespect your husband or
I know you
anything like
naughty.
that. Okay, right. And I also want to say, like, yes, go with that. You know, pink and blue. If that's how y'all feel, go with that. Now, all I'm saying is, if your child expressed some ways, to just vet it properly. That's all I'm saying, to sit them down, to have a conversation with them if it comes to that. I don't think that you should have to change none of that shit. You should have pinks for girls and blues for boys, and keep that same energy that you always know. I just feel like parents should know how to vet it properly if it comes to that. If your child comes to you and have a conversation, that you know how to navigate it properly. That's all I'm saying. I'm not trying to change shit. And we're not a monolith. And I believe that y'all should be able to do all of that shit. I'm just saying, if your child has some type of act and say, like, this is how I feel, this is what's going on, for you to just sit down, not bash them, not kick them out, not abandon them. That's all I'm saying, because we're seeing that a lot of times, that the LGBT community are getting, especially the Black community, are getting kicked out of their homes and ending up into foster care at a younger age. So all I'm saying is to love on your kids, and if they feel that way, to vet it properly and still cherish and love on them and support them. That's all I'm saying.
Definitely. And I completely understand that too. And, you know, that's why I'm cool with you, Naughty, because I mean, you can understand where, you know, I'm coming from, or anybody else is coming from. And, you know, I've never been criticized by you at all. So, you know,
And
and
that's
for other people that's on this app that tends to do that. And, you know, it's
And that's
just
another reason I love
disappointing.
talking to Naughty and Natalie, because they may
Yeah.
have their opinions of me, but they've always respected my ideology. That's one thing I can always. That's why, like I said, if you can respect my ideology, we can disagree all goddamn day long. But you the ones I'm going to war for. You the ones I'm going to war for, man. Because at the end of the day, we you know, or rather, should I say, going to war with, you know. Because I feel like if there was a race war that started to break out, I feel like some of y'all would be on the other side. And some of you will be with me. Seriously. I mean, and I'm just, you know, I'm being completely.
I'm on the side with Black people.
There it
That's
is.
it.
Come on
That's
now.
my side.
Come on now.
Right.
There, come on.
I just
Hey,
hope-
man.
I just hope
There
that
it is,
won't
man.
happen to me. I just hope if something happened to me, you can rally behind me to know that my human life is valuable. That's all I'm saying. You
Come
don't
on.
have to believe in my ideology. You can do you, but I just feel like if something happened to me with ill malice, that you would stick beside me and say that that's wrong.
And I'm in there with it, man. I'm in there 100%. 100%. Because again, I'm for right and wrong. Right. That's what I'm for 100% of the time, man. Because at the end of the day, I can't call myself a Christian unless I'm willing to stick my neck on the line for those, even those that disagree with me, even those that want me dead. The same as with, and see, that's the thing. It's hard to be a Christian. It's very hard to be a Christian, man. It's a difficult thing indeed to be a Christian, because understand this. I'm called to do right even when you are deliberately doing me wrong. When Jesus was on the cross being nailed, the very people that were nailing him to the cross, he said, Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. Do you understand how hard that is? These people are killing you, and you're praying for them to be forgiven. That's the level of humility and power, the level of power required for that type of greatness, man. It's ridiculous.
I can agree with the overboardness. I mean, that's what I'm saying.
Come on now, talk to me. You know what? You know where I'm going.
Okay, this is
talk to us.
Nadia is cool people. Like since day one, since I met her, like she was straight up with me. She's always been straight up about it. You know, like I can have a conversation with her. Like, you know, woman, like I can have a conversation with her and she can understand where we are coming from, because, you know, unlike some other people, I'm not gonna say no names or nothing, because I definitely don't need my account being clipped. You know, she understands where, you know, heterosexual people are coming from. As well.
Hold on real quick, Shiana. For everybody blowing me up in the back channels, yes, I've seen 50 Cent's Instagram post. Nicole, you feel like addressing this with me, or because I know Tony's got a room at too, man. Everybody wants my take on this. What does my crew want to do? Because I don't move without the crew. What are we doing?
Not really. I don't like commenting about people's personal lives, but
That's
that's just my
thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. My precise point. I'm not commenting on that. I'm not commenting on that.
I'm on mute.
Personal lives stay off Clubhouse personally to me.
But what I was saying is I just don't agree with everything in the movement. Like Santa Claus, let Santa be Santa. He's not gay. So why are you trying to push Santa Claus being gay? It's certain things that I do not agree with at all. Like Batman being gay. Like it's certain things that people are trying to do that I don't see it. You can build another character behind it and let that said character be the representation part, but the characters now that's, you know, that y'all change it. Like I don't agree to that. I mean, it's certain stuff that I don't agree with in my own community. It's certain, I mean, I just say vice versa. Like it's certain ideologies that I feel like, I mean, that hopefully you can have an open mind to as in a straight community, and there's some ideologies that I don't like in the LGBT community. I feel that, so I'm not going to say that I'm going to stand for everything that they're doing, because I'm not at all.
And it's literally that fucking simple. It's that simple, you know. But some of the stuff y'all be saying, y'all be having me ready to just go with it.
Oh, you motherfuckers. Okay. All right.
That's half the rhetoric that I be hearing. That's all I be wanting to say. That's all I be wanting to say. It's just all you motherfuckers. Every time y'all want to change a new definition, every time you want to introduce a new terminology, new letter to add, every time you add a new letter to the LGBTQIA alphabet, that's all you getting from me.
Oh, you motherfuckers.
That's all you get. That's all.
I hate you.
That's but you don't like me, but you hear everybody.
No, I think you're funny. I think you're funny as fuck. Like I have so many like straight male like best friends and friends. Period. Because I'm a gamer. I'm a nerd. All of that stuff.
Well, you're a superhero nerd. My Superman is my favorite.
Yeah, like,
He's my personal.
So many dudes that don't, you know what I'm saying? Like I could be in community with guys that, you know, like I could be in and we can have conversations. We talk shit all the time. So I get it from their standpoint as just a black man and how black men may feel. But of course I may have pushback and we can disagree to agree, but we can still play video games and shit like that. Like,
I'll still bust your ass in 2K and UFC because you don't want no smoke with me in either one of those.
Yeah, I don't know about that, but definitely I'm on a crime back. I'll beat that ass. But yeah.
No, because I'll get spawned and fuck you up. You don't stop it. Stop it.
Okay, I got katana.
Give me spawn or raiding and you're fucking cooked. It's over with. It's over. You don't want no smoke.
Sub-Zero and Katana for me.
Yeah, that's that. Well,
Are you Xbox or PlayStation?
oh, me, I'm PS5. I don't have my 5 yet, but I play it at my partner's house enough to, I will.
I got PS4.
I got
Oh,
I got a
man.
yeah, I got a 4. Yeah, we
I'm gonna have to get you. I'm gonna have to have Jay. He just entered the ground too. I'm gonna have to have Jay get on you, add you then on there.
for sure. Yeah, I play. Yeah, so
Yeah.
all I play is Call of Duty. I play Call of Duty, Battlefield, 2K, and UFC. That's all I play. I need to get better at Madden, but that's right now. That's all I play.
Yeah, he plays Madden, 2K, and he'll play Battlefield when he ain't got nothing else to do, and Call of Duty.
I truly prefer Battlefield over Call of Duty, to be honest. I'm gonna tell you why. Because you can destroy the environment. You can destroy it's more realistic, in my opinion.
That's what he be doing, destroying stuff, but also be dying at the same time.
But I'm
telling you, destroying stuff and dying at the same time, literally.
And there it is. But you know what? We've had over 1,000 people in this room, and I'm telling y'all seriously, like I enjoy this. Naughty, I think you know what would be great. I think you and I should do a sit down to get what you're not in Atlanta. I don't think you're in Atlanta.
No, I'm in Cleveland, Ohio.
You're in Cleveland. Okay, so I know me and Nylee are gonna do a sit down podcast, but what I'd love to do with you is you and I should get on StreamYard because I stream. I got my camera set up and everything. So I think we should get on Stream and we should have a sit down. A straight man and a trans woman having a conversation and a dialogue, because again, that's what people want. People need to hear that. People need to hear. They need to be able to see two people of opposing ideologies being able to have a conversation, and a conversation about something that really matters. Because I think that without being able to, without being able to be at each other's throats, they need to see what that looks like.
Yeah, I don't mind. I just take care of autistic client. I do 24-hour care, so I just have to set it up properly so I can make sure I have coverage.
Absolutely. Whenever you're ready, because you know I do this every morning. So you just pick a morning, or if you want to do something in the evening, you pick an evening, and we're I'll set that up, man. I'll set that up. If it's in the evening, it'll just have to be on the off day.
I do want you to listen to these little interview things that I did called One-on-One with Honey, where I actually interview straight men that are trans attracted, so you can just listen to how they feel, because I would just want you to listen to that.
Definitely, most definitely. No, I'm always willing to listen. That's one thing about me. Just because I may not necessarily agree per se, I'm gonna sit down and listen to everybody. So I would definitely be open and up to that. Let's have that conversation. Let's listen. Let's do that. But I think. Go ahead. I think was that Nicole trying to say something, or Kiara? That was Kiara.
No, that was me. So if they're trans attracted, they're not straight. Julio, can we hear from Noki?
Yeah.
Wait, sis, pause. That was cute, but that's why I want you to listen to the interview anyway. I mean, I feel
they're not. If they like a man, they're not straight. Period. Point blank. The end.
But I feel it. But at the same time, you cannot adjust to how they feel inside. So you may feel that way, but that's not how they feel. So that's why I said I would rather for you just to listen to it, so it can come out from a man's point of view, so you can hear.
I'm gonna be perfectly honest. I'm gonna be.
I don't believe that feelings are facts, and I believe facts, and how they feel does not change the facts. That if they are attracted to men, they're gay.
I have a question about that. So, for the men that are attracted to trans women, are they only attracted to trans women?
What the is going on here? Like what?
No, you know what? I'm gonna say it like this.
My elaborate.
Again, you can believe how you want to believe, that is fine. But I know when I with my boyfriend and everyday life of how I walk, because I don't really deal with this.
I got one question. Though. Now this is a serious. I am not being funny. I am not trying to be funny nor facetious. But the thing about it is, when you and a transgender are. And like when you doing that,
you're gonna see some balls.
It's not even because sometimes they can swap the for the coochie. You know what I'm saying? So my thing has always been this. Thank God I finally found this censor thing, so I can stop cursing so much. But when it comes down to it, when y'all are having sex, And now this is why I will listen. I will actually listen, Carrie. I will listen to the testimony of the brothers that date trans. Here's the hit.
What I do behind closed doors with my man is what I do.
No. It's your business. It is, but this isn't for you. This isn't for you at all. No, this is a yeah. No. This is a generalistic one, right? So my thing is, and my question: if a trans woman's vagina can feel like the real thing, I will be baffled. I will literally be fucking baffled because I just don't understand. What? No, I'm serious because that's the thing. I would be amazed if that's the case because it's not something that I've seen. It's not something I've ever heard. It's not something I've ever seen. But again, if it's a possibility, then I will give some leeway to their argument. I will give some degree of leeway to the argument.
Doc?
Here's why. It says, watch this. Watch what I'm saying. Watch. No. Watch where I'm going. Watch where I'm going. Watch where I'm going with this. Watch where I'm going with this. I know. No. Look. Y'all watch where y'all know where I'm going with this. Y'all know where I'm going with this.
I don't.
If you're about to find out, if they can somehow, which I know it is, if a trans woman's plastique feels like the real pussy, okay, then you will have amazed me. The problem is one of them has naturalistic lubrication. The other one is plastic. So what the we talking about? Like I really don't understand. Half of the shit that we say on this app is so fucking amazing that I just again, let me get this through the ringer. Ladies, to my natural born women.
Hey, Doctor.
I personally hold on. Let me get this. Hold on. Wait. Let me get this. I personally know that there is no way in the that anything that a transgender can produce is gonna feel like y'all. There's no fucking way. There's no way. None. It's not. You can't do it. But that's why I said if these men can say to me, if these men that date trans women, if you slept with a natural woman and then you slept with a trans woman and you tell me that they feel the same, I'm gonna say you're lying and you're full of shit. That's all I'm gonna say. What? Go ahead. No, I'm saying it. If you stun that, you're full of shit.
How is it a plastic?
Going off the censor button.
No, because and the reason I added a censor button in is because I don't want YouTube to, because that affects the algorithm. If how much profanity is in there, but if you bleep the shit out, then it helps a lot. And because I know I still cuss like a sailor, I have to make certain that that I protect the integrity of my channel. But I still have to be my authentic self. But I'm serious. If to every person, every male that has slept with a trans woman and thinks that feels like a natural woman, I got one thing to say to you.
Oh, you motherfuckers. Okay.
But what if they just like femininity in all womanhood? Like that's all I'm saying. So like again, I can only navigate it as a trans woman. What if he just like women and femininity? So I don't think that this man is looking for another man to lay down with, because if that's the case, he would just go with a natural looking aesthetic man. So if he likes what I am and say, okay, hey, I view you as a woman, I'm looking at this as this, and I like your personality, your vibe, and what you bring to the table, I'm not looking at what your genitalia, I'm looking at your personality and what you bring for me mentally, right? So I just feel like I get what you're saying, but oftentimes that's not always the case of how people feel.
Hey, but that's
So
not
naughty,
that's
so
like a
naughty.
feminine man.
So-
He likes
so
feminine
naughty.
men.
No, I wouldn't say that's the feminine
that's
man.
considered
I'm not a feminine man, I'm a trans woman. It's the thing. Go ahead.
Hey, naughty. So what you feel like and what you are two totally separate things, and I think that's what we're missing, right? See, here's the thing, and this is where it gets very funny at, right? Because me, as an African American male, for more than 30 years, right? If I was to all of a sudden start saying that I feel like a Caucasian male and I identify as a white male and I should be addressed as such, y'all would think I'm motherfucking crazy.
Now that
y'all would think I'm out my rabbit ass mind if I went
funny.
on live television.
That is funny as.
If I went on live television and said I feel like I am a white man, I identify as a white male.
I identify as a Yakubian because I'm already a light right.
Rich, they have a definition for you and they did test work for you, that's fine. But I'm just saying transgender is a thing. You may not believe in it, and that's fine. I don't give a fuck for real. Like you, I'm sorry, my bad.
Rich, you have to make sure that you bleach your skin and you relax your hair.
I like to be like a runaway slave.
Okay, can't
And
say.
you can be white presenting.
Yeah, I mean you do.
But
you.
I do
I'm
have
just-
I have a question for Nadi. I do have not necessarily for Nadi. It speaks to what Kiara is saying, because when you take the makeup off, right? Majority of them look like men.
Turn off the
Without
lights.
the makeup, they look
Turn
like
them
men.
back on.
And if they haven't
well,
had
I'll change
bottom,
the
hold on,
picture
and
then.
let me finish. And if they haven't had bottom surgery, they still have their male parts. And a heterosexual male is choosing to be with that person.
That
How
damn.
could that not be gay?
Yeah, that's gay. Well, at least
If you
bisexual.
let me say that. Hold on. Wait. Let me.
Even with even with
Go
the
ahead.
bottom surgery, you take off the makeup, you still look like a man.
Yes.
So if he's looking at you and you look like a man with female parts, that is saying that he likes something about that man that is different than being with a natural born woman. That says he's queer, at least.
Letitia, Letitia,
There's
Letitia,
actually,
you
I mean,
crazy.
well, if you account for that, like, I don't want to say that because that would be, this will turn this conversation left.
No, no. Just say it. You and Austin off script.
Chill, Julio.
What?
No, because I just feel like
What, Carrie? What did I do?
feel like there's
I see what you're doing. I see what you're
there's
doing.
natural born women that men feel like they look like a man. So how could you sit here
Oh,
and say
wait
that?
a minute.
Oh no.
Son of a- What the
So
we
there's
talking about in this motherfucker this morning?
there's natural born women with very strong features, right?
Oh, okay.
Right? I will give you that. But they are in the
They still gonna
minority.
have
They're in the minority.
vagina.
Well, it's not even
No,
that.
that's- and
It's
that's
not
fine,
even
because
that.
he
It's
was
just
going
they're
off
in
of
the
looks.
minority. But when majority of transgender women take off the makeup, they look like very pretty males. Very, very pretty. I will give y'all that. Very pretty males.
Watch it, Letitia. You watch it because I've been called a pretty boy my
Yeah.
whole life. You watch that shit. You watch
That's
it
like
now.
if Julio went to
Hey.
a really good makeup artist,
You better watch it, goddamn.
did some stuff to him, I'm pretty sure he would look like he probably look like an IG model if you get the makeup done right.
Oh my god.
But you take all
Hey,
that makeup
all
off,
you mother. I'm about tired of this mother. Hey, you got one more, goddamn.
Not an IG
Very
model.
pretty. Very.
Lord.
Hey, for the record.
the green eyes, the light skin.
Hey, man. Hey, listen. I would be
Gonna
one
have to
ugly.
do some major exfoliation with the beard.
If you
or do some heavy coverage, but
you have to shave that. You have to
it
shave that
just
shit
always-
off, man. You have
No,
to shave the
because
beard
it's
off.
always-
Letitia said that I would look like a pretty woman. Now, in this picture, for those of you on YouTube that see this,
I want to see your twin. That's why I want to see your twin.
my twin sister. Where's my twin?
Because she's probably gonna be the closest thing.
That's the
to
closest
you,
facsimile
'cause
you.
y'all are twins.
Let me PTR
Yeah.
a picture of who looks much better than I do. By the way,
But I just because when this question come up of Kiari was like he's gay. When you guys are saying, well, he's with a woman, but when y'all take the makeup off,
you take that
or
makeup
you
off and
haven't
that
had
jawline. You take
bottom-
the makeup off and you start paying attention to strength in that jawline. You can be like, wait a minute now, hold on. And but here's the thing. One thing I noticed.
We're straight in the jawline.
One thing I noticed was this. One thing I noticed was that this is my twin, by the way, in the PTR. This is my twin. So that would be the closest, and that's But I would never. Obviously, that would never be me. I got my jaw structure is more defined. So all of that kind of stuff.
Y'all look just alike. She just brown skin.
Child, stop lying. But
that's like me and my twin.
in the eyes, y'all
My
look
twin brother.
just alike.
Wait,
in the
Bianca,
eyes.
you're a twin too?
Yeah, I have a twin
So-
brother, and my son looks
Yeah.
just like my twin brother.
Yeah.
The baby that I just had 2 weeks ago.
That's
looks
why
just like my brother.
Man, Julio, I'm sorry, but boy, if you go to a makeup artist, preferably one who is really good with the contouring and stuff. Oh my gosh, yeah, you would make a very pretty female.
Ooh, Sherman. That's what reminded me of another professor. You crazy. But
Nadi, I see your PCR. Yeah, I can't tell. I'm gonna be honest with you. But
Come on, Nadi.
I can't tell that that she's trans. I can't tell at all.
I couldn't. You probably wouldn't be able to tell till you got right up on them. Because again, it's in the jaw structure. It's in the walk.
Get out of me.
It's in the eyes for me, but a lot of them use filters, so
This is
I'm just saying, like,
a lot of natural born women use filters too,
we
but
right.
We know
right,
that. Wait a minute.
right,
Wait. We know. Hold on. Let me say this to not to defend the trend, but now some of y'all natural women do use filters too much. Case in point. Case in point.
Because they're ugly. They're not trying to hide the fact that
they're
they're not a male.
No, I'm a trans woman, so like that's what I'm saying. I don't take away from your womanhood, because you do you.
But that's not what I'm saying.
But at the end of the day, again, at the end of the day, people, again, we got to understand something. This is not the point. The point of my conversation is we are talking about gender. Oh my God, my chest still hurts.
Yeah. So how do we get on this?
I don't know.
Dr. Phil,
No, and Lex, to your point, it's not clowning, right? See, Naughty's a friend of mine. I would classify Naughty as a friend. It's not clown. We're just analyzing, because again, I've had trans women approach me. I ain't gonna lie. I live in Atlanta. I've had 8 males and trans women approach me. I straight up. I'm out when I remember this happened like last year, 2 years ago. I'm out minding my business. A trans woman walked up. I could tell she was a man. I could tell. Had a I don't know how y'all get tits done. I don't know, but that was the most feminine thing on them. Everything else just screamed. Her she had the Angela Bassett arms times 10 from What's Love Got to Do with It. So if your arms is more defined than mine,
she probably was beautiful.
Shit, hell no.
She was beautiful.
It's
okay to say trans women could be fine.
No, I can't say, because it didn't look attractive. No, it didn't look. But anyway, but the point is, it walked up to me, and I'm looking and I'm minding my business, and they said to me, they were like, what? And it shocked me because I said it walked up to me. No, I meant to say it shocked me because when they walked up to me, they said that they were like, they tapped me on the shoulder. They're like, excuse me, you're just very handsome, blah blah blah. I love the suit. I said, I appreciate that. And it kind of threw me. I said, oh, I appreciate it. Thank you. And she's like, I just have a question, full transparency. I'm trans. Do you date? No. I didn't even let her finish. She said, no, can't do it. She's like, oh, so
you asked?
No, she said she was trans. She was like, do you date? Okay. She's like, I'm just being honest and open. This is Atlanta. Do you date trans women? I said, no. I said, I need to. I need the real thing. I said, I did. I said, I appreciate the honesty, though.
I'm honest too.
I said, I appreciate the honesty.
Wait, did somebody say the gay community, the trans community is not the same? So y'all,
I was confused. Isn't that LGBT?
Okay, well, wait, Lex, if you said it in the chat, Lex, explain it to us. What break it down, Lex? Because Lex is the one that said it. So Lex, if you can kind of break that down for us when you say they're not the same, what do you mean? Kind of give us the breakdown of, if you don't mind, of that. What are you getting at?
Lex said that they don't have
gender identity and sexuality is totally two different things. Who you choose to lay with is not how you choose to act. I mean, people choose to act how they want to act. You can be a man and lay with a man, and that's gay. Transgender is identity. So I can be trans and like women. I can be trans and be bisexual. I can be trans and be pansexual. I mean, I could be trans and choose to love and to lay with who I want to.
Okay,
but I'm
do
still transgender.
Do y'all all identify with the LGBT community? Wait, did I say that right?
I mean, we're part of the queer community, but we're not the same. So that's why you have the difference of lesbian, gay, bisexual.
Okay, I understand. Okay, I get it now. I understand now.
Like for example, my friend, she's a trans woman, and she was in a relationship with a trans man, and they have a baby. So they reproduce the child together.
Naturally?
Yeah. Naturally.
Bullshit. Bullshit. Bullshit.
No.
Listen to it again.
No. Hold on. That means a trans woman still had the penis and the trans man still had the vagina.
Hey, hold on, man. Wait. Wait a minute. What the hold on, people. Wait, everybody wait. Everybody wait in this bitch right now. Hold on. What in the actual factual are we talking about? You just said that a trans couple produced a child naturally. Do you know what that means? That literally means that they both maintained their original sexual organs. It's literally what that means. Which means a man married a woman, and they And out of that, a child came.
No. A queer man married a queer woman, and they produced a
No,
natural child.
Listen to
Doesn't
this.
matter. They
Y'all
still
trying to correlate. Y'all trying to correlate transness with sexuality and what we choose, who we choose to lay with. It's not the same thing.
Motherfucker. How is it not?
If they feel they're in a raw body, that's what it is.
What
for
the
now.
Well, two men can't produce a baby
Turn off the
naturally.
lights.
Two women can't produce a baby
Turn them
naturally.
back home.
A trans woman cannot produce a baby naturally. So that means that they retain their original parts.
Absolutely.
That's why she's okay. That's the difference between a biological woman and a trans woman. She's in her transness. So you can be trans and still have your parts. You can be trans and not have your and get that sex reassignment surgery. That's the difference between transness.
Okay, but
So
how
I
can you
think
think you're a woman if you're retaining
once
a penis?
again, it's a
people down. How can you be a woman and pipe people down?
How can you be a woman if you clapping cheeks? How? Wait, stop. Everybody stop. Everybody stop talking. I got one question. How in the name of the Nazarene, how in the hell can you be a woman if you know how to clap some cheeks? Stop it. If you got somebody balls to the wall, that you're not a woman.
What
If
do
you
mean? It's natural born women that's putting on strap-ons that's having sex with their men.
We're not talking about fucking strap-on. Stop moving.
I'm
the
talking
goalpost.
about wait. That ain't what I'm talking about. Hold on. Hold
Talk about natural body parts.
Hold the on. What I'm talking about is something very specific. How can you be a woman if you listen naturally? How can you be a woman if you can take your natural dick and insert it? Not a strap-on. Strap-ons don't count.
Who said somebody was a natural woman? Y'all keep on saying that.
She just said you missed
She
it.
just said it.
She just said it,
ma'am.
You can't have a baby. Two transgender people can't have a baby if they didn't keep their natural organs. It's impossible. So the fact that she said they had a baby means that one still have a penis, the other still have a vagina, and basically all they do is dress. They dress like opposite sexes, but they still have their natural organs.
Sexuality with gender identity.
No, because they fucking insane, man. Y'all can try to make all the sense out of this shit as you want. The shit don't make sense. It don't make sense.
I'm with you, Rich.
Shit don't make sense, man. Y'all can try to make it make sense.
You're trying to make $1 out of 15 cents, and the math just ain't math.
You don't have to.
I'm taking it.
Wait, so hold on, Rich. So wait, guys, hold on. Because I saw Lex finally came off mute. I want to hear Lex because she kind of made the statement that trans and Lex, you said something earlier in the chat that trans women and something are not the same or identity. If you can kind of speak to that, I wanted to get your actual full thoughts on that versus just what you were able to share with us in the chat. If you don't mind, go ahead.
I mean, I'm just saying that's just my opinion. Just like y'all have y'all's opinions on what y'all think is a man and a woman. That's just my opinion.
Okay.
I'm just here to listen to y'all.
Not what we think is a man and a woman.
Let her finish, Rich. Let her finish.
Because
Rich gotta be
me,
from New York.
I ain't with all that
from New York.
shit. I'm not with all that.
Yeah, I am.
I can tell.
Shit.
So let's say this, Lex. So when you say, no, I'm not saying.
You're mad. You over there.
I'm not mad, baby girl.
So when we look, okay. So go ahead, Lex. And we can have the dialogue. Let's hear it. Yeah, let me give you the full floor. That way, you can actually express your point without having to necessarily worry about being, interrupted. So I'll even make sure that I contain myself on mute as give you the space to speak. Go ahead, please.
No, it's never that serious to me. I'm just saying I'm under the weather right now, but
sorry to hear that.
My opinion is, and I can't speak for Naughty. Naughty's a trans woman too. I don't like one thing about me, I don't like to be labeled or compared to anybody else. But in my opinion, one of my biggest pet peeves is being compared to a gay man. I don't live my life as a gay man. When you see me, you don't see a man. When you see me, you don't see a gay man. And that's just facts. If you see me in person, half the time you don't know. And I'm not just toot my own horn, but anyone who knows me in real life, I'm never clockable. Like when you see me in real life, you would never know unless I told you. But that's one of my biggest pet peeves is being compared to a gay man. When you say that, why is that? Genitalia doesn't define who I am.
Okay. So when you that's why you said that's one of the biggest problems is that you're always compared to a male. Is it?
It's a big misunderstanding.
Okay.
It's a big misunderstanding.
Does your Instagram indicate what you look like in real life? Because on your Instagram, you're clocking.
There's a lot of filters.
But no, even with the filters, anybody who can clock can clock you.
I mean, that's your opinion. That's your opinion.
Okay.
I'm just speaking from experience.
No. See, here's the thing, Lex. We're not speaking opinion. We're speaking facts. We're born a male. That's a
But I'm
fact.
saying that's your opinion, though.
No.
Whoa. Wait. Hold on. Everybody stop. Everybody. Wait. Hold on. Everybody, hold on 1 second. Hold on, just 1 second.
If I think I'm a woman,
Wait, Lex, hold on. Wait, hold on, Lex, hold on. Got a question. You said it was your opinion. It was Letitia's opinion you were born a male. Now I do have a no.
That wasn't it. She's talking about being clockable.
Oh, okay. Well, the clockable part, all right. That one you can argue. Sure. I suppose that you could be argued that's subjective, right? Because some people's gaydar, some people's trans radar is a little bit off.
Right,
I'll give you
so
that one, right?
If I say I'm a trans woman, let me be a fucking trans woman. It ain't bothering
No.
you. It's not bothering you. Let me live. If I feel like I'm a woman, whether I was born with a vagina or not, let me say I'm a fucking woman.
Okay, so next question. Here's the problem. Here's the bother. Here's the bother. Here's where the conversation gets interesting. Do you believe that you should be able to compete in sports with natural born women?
Me personally, I wouldn't do it because I'm not a sports fanatic.
What about but for those that are sports fanatics, should trans people compete against other trans, or should they compete against natural born women?
I feel like it should go to it should be I don't know the word to use.
Co-ed.
I feel like there should be like different things in place to judge if a trans woman can compete with other females, just like a trans man can compete. It should go by, body mass, go by height,
like a different rubric.
It should go by height, size, body mass. That is.
What about testosterone capacity? What about that?
Yeah, I feel like all that should play a role.
See, that makes fucking sense. That makes fucking sense because again,
a lot of trans women are on testosterone blockers, and that's something that we'll always have to be on, unless you get surgeries and stuff like that. But yeah, there for anything, there's always something, there should be guidelines,
Right. Amen.
I'm not going to take someone who's 60.
Listen, y'all can have them for it. Go ahead, y'all can have them.
Yeah.
So wait,
I just feel like we should be making such a big deal out of nothing.
Is there something going on within the LGBTQ community? This is what I picked up on this the last room we had when you got kicked, Dr. Julio.
When I got what happened?
When you got booted off the app.
Oh, when I got clipped,
when we had that room.
Yeah.
I asked, is there something going on within the LGBT community? But they didn't hear that part. They just stuck on that last part. Someone in the chat wrote, y'all trans women are part of the LGBTQ community, but now y'all just want to distance yourself from us and want to be part of the straight community. Y'all still LGBTQ at the end of the day, and y'all was gay boys a few years ago, but now you want to forget where you come from.
Because they want to identify the world as women, and that's the problem.
Shit. That's a tough one. That's a tough one. Mama, there goes that man.
I'm gonna speak on it because we're not monolith.
Here's the thing, I feel some type of way when they try to
truth, right? I can only speak my truth. We're not monoliths, right? Again, I was transgender before I even liked guys. I had sex with a man when I was 21. I started to transition at the age of 17. I was never walking around as a gay boy. I didn't walk around my life as a gay boy. I was trying to figure out my transness at a younger age and figure out me not getting fucked up by my stepfather and being abused and things like that. So men was not on my mind at the time. So I didn't live and navigate my lifestyle as a gay man. I navigate my lifestyle as a trans woman. So when I laid with a man and had sex with one, I laid with him as a trans woman. I didn't lay with him as a gay man. So that's not always the same.
But
thing.
did
I
you
don't
have
know
a
if
did you
gay
have a
men do.
facsimile? Did you have a facsimile cooch when you did that, or did you still have a dick?
See, listen.
No, that's a quick no. This is why. This is why I no. This is why I ask these questions, because this is the problem.
No, because y'all always correlating the sex.
Listen,
Like,
listen.
it's
Wait.
not-
Hold on. Hold on 1
I
second.
wanna answer that
Hold
question
on 1
too.
second, because this is the problem. This is why I have to ask these kinds of questions. What did you have between your legs when you did that? The reason that question is significant is because that determines what he actually laid with. Did he have something to insert? Could he hit you from the front or from the back? That's the point. Because no. And the reason, wait, let me finish. Let me finish my point. No. My point is this. When he did that, could he insert? Did his phallus have somewhere to go from the front side of your body or the back side only? The reason that's significant is because that's what this whole conversation is about. At the end of the day, the net of it is this entire conversation is about when you're sleeping with someone, what action is taking place. What really happens is this, and this is my true problem. You can go to Clubhouse, Latel. You can go to Clubhouse to join the conversation. I'm actually going to take the link to the room. I'm going to share it directly to YouTube, so that way you can see it. That way you can join the room and join in the live conversation. Because again,
go get
what I'm talking about is hold on 1 second. I'm gonna pin the comment. I'm gonna pin the link here. So there you go. That's the link to where you can join. You may have to download the Clubhouse app to be able to join the conversation. But again, that's what this matters. The LGBTQ community took something that was private and made it public. They did. They took something that was private and they made it public. The privacy problem is who you lay with, who you decide to lay down with. That's your personal private business. When you take your personal private business and then you make it public, now you're opening yourself up to scrutiny.
Wanting everybody else to accept it,
And wanting me to accept publicly what you do in private is none of your damn concern, and it should never be. The problem is that you took a private identity, because let's be honest, you never have to reveal you're trans. You never have to reveal that you're gay. You never have to reveal any of this except to the people that you're interested in sleeping with. But when you take it and you say that now because I want to sleep with someone in this capacity, now I want to be identified as this. Now I want to be identified as that. I want to be identified as X, Y, and Z. Let me tell you something, folks.
Recognized as a woman.
I want to be recognized as a woman. I want to be recognized. That's bullshit.
Trans men give birth.
Right. Amen. Somebody show me a trans. Right. Somebody show me a man. Show me someone born a male that can produce a child. And by that, I mean bring one into life on this planet.
But I'm saying why does it matter to you that I want to dress up like a woman? Okay, when it was only men dressing up like women and cross-dressing at home or in their clubs doing whatever they wanted to do, that was fine. But that's a very slippery slope. It's gone from, hey, just leave us alone and let us do what we want to do, to, hey, we want the same rights that you have. We want to get married, this, that, and the other. It went from we want to be left alone to we want rights to now 0.4% or whatever the number is of the population is trying to get all of the rest of us to acclimate to you.
1.7%.
Wait, who said that, Key? You said I said that?
So
she's talking about the community in general.
Exactly, because it's not just you. It's not just.
See, that's the thing. I don't like being boxed and labeled and compared. What my trans brothers and sisters may do. Don't compare me or label me as.
You're not talking.
But you benefit from it.
That you want to dress like that's the answer.
I don't go around.
What am I benefiting from?
My thing is
from whatever laws that are passed in favor of transgender people. You benefit from it.
If you live in real life, people who know me know
man, you need to do your research. I got a whole lot of laws.
Not only that.
Okay, so I want to say this, right? I want to say this. I'm black first. Before I was
I don't care if you agree with me or not. All I care about
their livelihoods are messed up because we don't agree with y'all. People are showing up in people's front yards, can't even feed their families because they don't agree with y'all's delusions. That's the problem.
Wait,
am I getting have to worry about losing their jobs or their livelihoods because you want to identify as a woman. Let that be in your mind. It does not have to be in all of ours.
So are you
listen? I don't care what y'all say. It's about respect. Just respect me, just like y'all expect to be respected.
I respect your humanity.
Can I
respect your humanity. I wouldn't want to see no. Hold on. I wouldn't want to see no harm. I feel you should have the right to make a living. I feel you should have the right to have housing. I feel you should have a right to be with the person you want to be with, as long as they want to be with you and accept you as you are. But what I don't accept is that now you have some legislators who are considering making laws to make us who don't accept it, who will not publicly acknowledge it, that is going to be considered hate speech and possibly criminal.
Exactly.
That's what
That is exactly what Dr. Jordan Peterson talked about. That right there is exactly what Dr. Jordan Peterson talked about to the very letter. He rejected the codification. Dr. Jordan Peterson rejected the codification of that in speech. That's what got him from being relatively unknown to having 2 million followers on YouTube, like making $400,000 or $500,000 a month on Patreon, and because he said it best. He said it best. The fact of the matter,
we exist, and I think that maybe just because you choose to not believe in that is fine. You can believe in that. You do you, but we exist.
It's going to be legal soon. That's the point. It's going to be legal to say you don't.
But do you think that if someone, you have teachers who are losing their, you have teachers losing their jobs because they will not. Hold on, you have teachers losing their jobs because they will not use the proper pronouns of a student who has decided to transition after they've already gotten to know them as their natural born self. Do you think it's right that a teacher should lose their job if by their fate they refuse to accept pronouns?
To be totally completely honest, we're paying the teachers to teach, right? So
Naughty, I asked you a question.
I'm about to give you my answer.
Okay.
So that's just like the hospital. That's like a doctor, right? So in your chart, you have to understand what they are and go by that chart, because that's your job. You got to respect people, right? As you being a teacher, you take that religion part out of your teaching because we're paying you to teach, right? And for you to teach, in order for you to be with certain said people, you have to respect that individual. So yeah, it may be a couple of slip-ups, but you have to respect that. Just like me and Doctor, we were having a conversation.
Naughty, that
He
doesn't
may not agree with my
lifestyle. Naughty, that's not answering my question. It was a yes or no question. Do you agree that do you agree or disagree that a teacher should be fired if he or she refuses to use a child's pronouns?
Yeah.
Okay.
Wait, whoa.
Wait a minute, Dr. Julio, let me finish. Do you agree or disagree that there should be some type of penalty if people in general population refuse to use proper pronouns? Do you believe that the government should step in and create a law that forces people to address people as their preferred pronouns?
If we're in proximity and we're having conversation, if we work together, you got to respect me for sure.
Legally.
We're talking about legally.
Yes.
And this is why
it matters.
That's why it matters. That's why I'm not giving an inch at all. Y'all,
I mean,
that's why bothers.
That's fine, sis. So it's like this. You believe how you believe, right? And then I could say you're being disrespectful to me. But then when I say the same thing to you and be disrespectful to you, then it's a problem. If I say, hey, respect me, I'm going to respect you. My pronouns are she and her, or you can call me by my name, which is Diamond. Or if you cannot do that properly, and then you want to call me out of my name or out of my pronouns, and then again,
So let me ask you. Let me ask Kiari.
So if you
question.
know,
Let me ask Kiari a question. Kiari, do you think men should be jailed for calling women bitches?
No, I don't, because they're words. They're words.
Do you believe that if a man doesn't respect you as a woman, that there should be some type of repercussions, consequences?
You can keep mute me, but
Kiari?
you can hear it too.
Kiari?
No, I don't. And Lex, keep talking, you're going to get dropped.
Okay, so do you see the difference? Like, disrespect should not be
there should be no legal recourse for disrespect. That's insane. That's stupid.
Hello.
I mean, women get disrespected.
Disrespect is subjective anyway.
Milano been trying to get in for a while.
Welcome to womanhood, I guess, right? Because we get disrespected every day.
we gonna have dialogue or not? Because I said in certain said areas, right? So if we out on the street and shit like that, I don't give a fuck what you say, right? But if we're in a job, in a setting, in a classroom, or things of that nature where I want respect, please give me respect. And if you cannot give me respect, don't talk to me. It's
or what, Donati?
Period.
Or what?
You said what?
Should I be locked up?
I never said you should be locked up. But if you
So
can't
why-
respect me at a job, if you can't
I'm
respect me at
locked
a
up.
job,
They
then
won't
it
let
has-
me
Here's
out.
my thing. Why would you want to intentionally
Hello?
disrespect the bitch for no reason anyways? If I'm being respectful to you and not causing you any harm, then why the fuck do you want to come at me incorrectly? Like that doesn't make no
I'm not
fucking
even
sense
gonna
at all.
lie. I struggle with it.
Like it
I'm
don't
not
make
gonna,
no
I'm not even
goddamn
gonna lie.
sense at all.
Because Lex, I'm not gonna lie. I struggle with it because of my faith and my Christian beliefs. That's
But
why
you
I
gotta put that
struggle with
aside
it.
though, baby.
No,
girl.
I don't.
That was
You
the
being
whole
forced
shit.
to put it aside.
But that doesn't dictate
Let
who I
me
am.
finish.
My upbringing don't dictate who I am and how I live my life as an adult.
My Christian faith is who I am. I can't put that aside.
Okay.
You
And
can't.
that's like me asking
Wait,
you
wait,
to
wait,
put
wait,
your,
wait,
hold
wait.
on.
Let me get this out.
Hold on. That's like me asking you to put your transgender identity aside. And I'm not asking you to do that.
No, sis.
So
what I
hold
want
on.
you to
So
do-
if my religion, based on my faith, I'm struggling with accepting you as what I believe God did not create you as, then how can you say that I need to put that aside? How can you say that, okay, then you are just being disrespectful to me? That's wrong. How are you wanting me to put my faith above your feelings? I mean, how are you wanting me to
Okay,
put
so-
your feelings above my faith?
Okay, so I want to say this, right? Your faith is your faith. I will never take your faith away from you. But like I said, it's different places and times, right? So sometimes you can be too prideful, and when you're too prideful in certain situations, you may have consequences. Like I said, a job, if we're working together and you choose to do that, it has, okay, am I gonna talk or you want to talk over me? What are we doing?
Hello?
You want to go?
Is there a queue?
Like,
No,
at this point.
But let's let Milano speak because he has been trying to speak for a while.
I have a question. I'm having a question for you two trans women. Do you think a guy should be forced to date y'all? And if he doesn't want to date y'all because
No,
I
no. If you don't want me, don't.
Okay.
I don't want you to talk to me. Like, if you don't want me, then don't talk to me. Go ahead and free yourself. Period.
no, okay, because I heard that they're trying to enact that in the law.
You said what? I'm sorry.
They're trying to enact that into the law, make that a legislation where mandatory trans dating. They're trying to enact that. They're trying to like make it to where you
Where
can't
is that
reject
in the
them.
law? Where are you? Can you send me that article? Because at this point, I feel like y'all.
Well, I seen this on Tucker Carlson where there's a trans activist that says mandatory trans dating. Look it up.
What?
Zania Jones.
Where are you finding this stuff at? Can you send me that link, please, or let me know where this is located?
Type in Zania Jones and type in Tucker Carlson, and you'll see it. It's on YouTube.
You said type in what?
Zania Jones. It's a trans activist named Zania Jones.
Okay.
On YouTube.
Milano, can you put it in the chat, please?
Yeah. Can you?
All
Let me
right.
see where this article at.
Mandatory trans dating. I'm gonna put it in there.
Mandatory.
Yeah.
This is crazy. Now that's foolish. I don't believe in that.
Well,
if you don't want to talk to me, that's fine. I don't want to talk to nobody. Don't want to talk to me. It's period. You got your.
You don't want me, then don't talk to me.
Yeah, free yourself.
Right, there it is. There it is. There it is.
Well,
Well,
the problem is, and we hold on, and Nadia, you know,
I've been
we've
trying to
in
say
these
something.
Conversations where if a heterosexual male says, "I don't want to date a trans woman," they're called transphobic.
They're transphobic.
Even
So
even
apparently,
heterosexual women
apparently, I'm transphobic as hell.
I don't. Again, I agree. They're not transphobic. That's just your preference, girl. If you don't want me, then don't
You
talk
need to
me.
go tell that. You need to go tell that shit to Nylee. See, no, I'm gonna use you as my defense.
Okay,
You need to go tell that to Nylee and the rest of them, because Nylee tells me I'm transphobic to this day.
There's a difference between rooted in transphobia. Yeah, I can believe that. But at the same time, for me, because we're not monoliths, I'm not about to argue with you liking me. I disagree with that. I don't want to put any energy into that. Now back to the conversation that you were talking about. Depending on where we're located, if you have to respect me and I have to respect you in a job site, or where we're in community and something, educational for the benefit of the both of us, and you want to disrespect me, then you're gonna have to accept those consequences by HR. That's just how I feel. So when you told me about the teacher, if the teacher can't respect the students because the parents are paying for the teacher to be there to teach, then if that teacher cannot respect that student, then therefore there will be consequences for it. But if we're just in the street and you decide to say so whatever you wanted to say, I don't give a fuck. Say what you want to say. It ain't, I don't care. You want to argue, we can go back and forth. You want to read, we can go back and forth. You want to say whatever, we can go back and forth. But if we're in a certain space, then you have to respect me. If you cannot respect me because you're too prideful to do so because of your religion and said things, then obviously there will be consequences for it. Do I believe you should go to jail for that? No, I don't believe you should go to jail for that. If it's a losing your job or getting right up, okay, then yes. But other than that, that's all I'm saying.
Well, look, I mean, listen, people, this conversation has been going on for 2 hours and 4 minutes. So it's been a great conversation, great topic. No, we're going down a rabbit hole. So with that being said, man, all y'all niggas left me with today is I got one thing to say to every last one of y'all. Just one.
Oh, you motherfuckers. Okay. All right. I'm putting cases on all you bitches.
That's all I got, man. I ain't got nothing else to say. Oh, okay. But anyway, we're gonna rise for the benediction, and the benediction this morning is gonna come from me. All right, it's gonna come from me. It's not gonna be a song today, but it's gonna be a bit of a spiel. It's gonna be a bit of a speech, and this comes from the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King's "I've Been to the Mountaintop" speech, and see, he said something very quick, but very profound. He said, whenever Pharaoh wanted to, he said, I can remember when Negroes were just going around so often, as Ralph has said, scratching where they didn't itch and laughing when they were not tickled. That day is all over. We mean business now, and we are determined to gain our rightful place in God's world. Whenever Pharaoh wanted to prolong the period of slavery in Egypt, he had a favorite formula for doing it, and what was that? He kept the slaves fighting amongst themselves. But whenever the slaves get together, something would happen in Pharaoh's court, and he could not hold the slaves in slavery. For when the slaves got together, that was the beginning of getting out of slavery. I say to you today, my friends, we are in a system of mental slavery. We still are in a system of psychological conditioned slavery. Somebody has to be willing to speak up. Somebody has to be willing to say something about the BS that is taking place in the American community. And I'm here to tell you that's what I'm here for, man. That's what I'm here for. I am here to be a voice to the voiceless. And there's a poem that I want to share with you. That encapsulates this issue beautifully. Martin, I can never pronounce his last name. Martin Niemöller, 1892 to 1984, was a prominent Lutheran pastor in Germany. He emerged as an outspoken public foe of the Führer Adolf Hitler, and he spent the last 7 years of Nazi rule in concentration camps. He is perhaps best remembered for his post-war words. First, they came for the socialists, and I did not speak out. I'm going to read his poem. First, they came for the socialists. I did not speak out because I was not a socialist. Then they came for the trade unionists. I did not speak out because I was not a trade unionist. Then they came for the Jews, and I did not speak out because I was not a Jew. And I'm going to add something to this. Then they came for the Christians. And many did not speak out because they were not Christian. But then they came for me, and there was no one left to speak for me. The problem in this world today, the problem in this society today is that somebody has got to speak. Every voice is loud except the ones that tell the truth. But the truth is incontrovertible. Malice may attack it, ignorance may deride it, but at the end, there it is. Somebody has to have sense enough to meet hate with love. Somebody has to have sense enough to say, I'm tired of everybody else being able to stand up for what they believe in except the Christian. Somebody has to be able to say, I've had enough. Somebody has to be able to say that enough is enough. There is an objective truth. There is an objective lie. And I'm going to tell you the truth, even when crushed to earth, will rise again. And I think that in the end of the day, see, I read a 6,000-year-old book that's pretty old, but it tells me that all of this that we're discussing was going to happen. It tells me that in the book of Thessalonians. It tells me that in the gospel according to St. Matthew. It tells me that in the gospel according to St. John, and the gospel according to St. Mark. It tells the story of a man who came on the scene and was only guilty of loving, and they crucified him. He was only guilty of healing blinded eyes, and they crucified him. They hollered, crucify him. They hollered, scourge him. He was only guilty of multiplying fish and loaves and feeding a hungry multitude, yet they said he is guilty of blasphemy. Crucify him. Crucify him. Crucify him. In other words, what I'm telling you is that even when the truth presents itself in love and in honor and in glory and in justice, the world loved darkness rather than light. They loved hate rather than truth. They loved lie rather than love. They loved Lucifer rather than Lucifer's creator, the Nazarene. And that's what we're seeing today. That's why I'm here to tell you this world we're living in, Christian, it is not ours. Jesus himself said it. And so as you leave my room, as you peruse the clubhouse hallways, I want you to understand there will come a day when every knee will bow and every tongue will confess that the Nazarene is the Lord of Lords and the King of Kings, that he is the creator of the cosmos, that the Nazarene that died on the cross is the real boss. He's the real HNIC, if you please. But that's the point. There'll come a day when you won't hear my voice anymore. There'll come a day when you won't hear Kiara or Nicole anymore, but you're going to he will still be there. For we are dependent on him, but he is dependent upon nothing. He is the uncaused cause of all that we see. And he gave us free will to make a choice. Look at what we've done with his creation. We were given dominion over the earth, and look what we have done. We have guided missiles, and yet we have misguided men. We have made of the world a neighborhood, yet we have failed to make of it a brotherhood. Bob Hope gave an adequate description. He said the world today in which we live is geographically one, to the point where you can if you can get on a plane from New York to Los Angeles, or from Los Angeles to New York. And if upon the plane you develop hiccups, you will hick in Los Angeles and you will cup in New York City. We've made the world a neighborhood, yet we haven't made of it a brotherhood. To be a brother and to be a sister means you have to lead your relative, lead your sibling down the right path. And that's what I've come here to do. We have a path that we're trying to go down here. If salvation is getting to Los Angeles, right? Let's imagine that. Salvation is being on the right road. There's a highway called Highway 80. I think it goes all the way from Los Angeles to Mississippi, I believe, or from Alabama to Los Angeles, I think. Somewhere. It goes from the south. It goes somewhere in the south to all the way to the West Coast. But if you're on the right road, God has the power of bringing the best out of you. He wants to see the best out of all of his children. Not mediocrity. Not ridiculous fussing and fighting. But that's what we're still going to do. So first they came for the socialists. I didn't speak out because I wasn't a socialist. They came for the trade unionists. Didn't speak out then. They came for the Jews. Didn't speak out then. They came for the Christians. Now is the time to speak up. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. So go from this place with the love of God in your hearts, with the peace and power of the Lord Jesus Christ, the living God incarnated in human flesh. Revelations 1:8. If you don't believe that, he is the Almighty God. And go with the grace, the power of the Holy Spirit. Practice goodwill towards all men. That's the way you'll win. This has been Austin Off Script. You've been in the hands of the best fake doctor on the app for the past 2 hours. I love every last one of you. I want to see all of you do great, but I want to see you do great objectively. Move away from subjectivity, people. Move away from feelings. We love the facts over here. And that's no cap. And with that one, ladies and gentlemen, we are gone.
Like that.